You're lost on my surface, I can see it in your eyes. Peel back the lips, I'm hiding in a forest built around my heart. Come and find me. Never, never stop, never, never stop. Come and find me. I wish you could try to dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, to see every single layer hidden from the reaper. Red eyes with warning signs. I control more than I can tell. It takes time for you to understand. Misunderstood feels like no one's gonna ever know me. Come and find me. Never, never stop, never, never stop. Come and find me. I wish you could try to dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, to see every single layer hidden from the reaper. Layer by layer, the deeper we go. You don't care about me at all. I wish you could try to dig a little Sometimes I feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. Feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. You
Welcome, everybody, to your climactic finish to the Aegis Defenders League regular season winter 2024 split. We made it the distance, folks. It certainly started out pretty rocky, but we are finally here getting a big look at our playoff picture. And we're going to finish things off like we kind of talked about last week with that Cosmic Division, which doesn't have a race for the last couple playoff spots, but we're looking at a potential fight for the first overall seed coming from this division. Big Chillers Diamond stepping into the showcase matchup for the first time all season long, and they're taking on a very familiar Mint Gaming squad, Jordan Bot, that we certainly had an interesting series last time we saw them around.
Absolutely. Super excited to see these Titans at the top of the table take on each other to see who will secure first place here.
Yeah, and so the scenario, just so everyone knows at home, right now Mint Gaming are the first seed in the Cosmic standings, 5-1. They have a +8 game difference in their game record on the series. However, Big Chillers are 4-2, and they are behind a 4-game difference. So if you do some math jumping jacks here, a 2-0 series win for Big Chillers would put them with the same game record as Mint Gaming, or the same game score, and they then would be granted the head-to-head win because they obviously just beat Mint Gaming. So It's not going to be easy, but a 2-0 would put Bing Chiller's Diamond in that first seed, which would give them power to select what opponent they face in the playoffs next week between the 3 and 4 seeds from the Dark Star division. That's a whole lot of a mouthful, Jordan Bot, but you know, we'll have a lot of time to explain as these weeks come on. The main point here is, though, first place is not secured for Mint Gaming right now.
Yep, absolutely. So as we're getting into draft, we see blue side taking out Callista, Tristana, and Caitlyn. Red side taking out Zach, Smolder, and as we come to know and love some of the scaling high pro 80 carries in Senna and Smolder off the table with a B1 Varus.
Just pretty standard, right? And this is where we're at with the meta. Don't hate that pick at all for Bing Chillers. What does the response look like for Mint Gaming, though? The Senna out of the way does take away a lot of those fun bottom lanes you can mess around with. We've seen that the bottom lane for Mint Gaming certainly has struggled in some of their matchups, and they're going for, wow, I feel, is this the Ardent Sensor meta? I feel like I'm a couple seasons back again, Jordan Bot, with this bottom lane coming together.
That's got to be some scrim data right there, because we have not seen this kind of style come out from Mint Gaming before, and it's not been their bread and butter to what they've looked good at before. They've mostly been utility players in the bot lane so that Anthony in the top side can really do his thing and take over the game. Anthony has been their carry player that they look towards that's got them to the top of the standings here. And we're going to see Bing Chillers double down on the idea of lane priority, locking in Karma. Kind of don't really see it from mid or support. It has been shining in the mid lane a lot more frequently. However, that is a really hard lane for Kog'Maw Lulu to navigate if that is a bot lane Karma.
Yeah, I was about to say that, Jordan Bot, is actually, all that's out the window because it's going to be a Karma mid lane, which, like you mentioned, is the better one. But I wouldn't have hated the Karma bot because you could index the lethality Varus into the Karma bot and just make this Kog'Maw as a lane a living hell. Renata can certainly still do some of that, but you lose, obviously, a lot more of that poke-oriented damage when you pick up the Renata. Nonetheless, though, this pairing is got to be one of those premier bottom lanes, just really, really vocal in the lane at points. You have a lot of CC, you have a great scaling ability. These two champions are S tier in their specific roles for a reason.
Yep. So Anthony locking in the Aurelion Soul for himself. We've seen a lot of double dragons shining across the rift. Lots of scaling there, no pun intended. And we're gonna see where this draft goes from here. Surprised we didn't see a Volibear first or pick for Mint Gaming. They've prioritized it in not only the top lane but also the jungle role in their past series here, and not seeing it is a little bit of a shock to me. But Bing Chiller is going to take out the Xin Zhao, and I fully expect Volibear is either going to be picked or banned here in this one.
Yeah, I would expect it to be that next ban from Bing Chillers. Excuse me, Big Chandler's Diamond there. A lot of top lane bans still up to go through. The Aatrox is taken away. And I'm not too familiar as Kasante takes away Jordan Bot, but Scott, that's why I'm here to lean on you a bit. Do we know, as the Volibear does get taken away, which one of these top laners, are they more tank-oriented laners or carry-oriented? I'm pretty sure Mint Gaming certainly likes to play those carry tops with the series we saw last time.
Yeah, Mint Gaming's Inigo Montoya is very known for his weak side performances, but he makes Tom Kench look like a carry. He plays Gnar, he's self-sufficient, and he is sort of a maximizer in the top lane, left alone to his devices, but is an absolute monster in that 1v1. So I expect to see a jungle pick here, largely a tank player coming in from Luckified. So there's the Rel, gives them some engage, gives them some shield break for the enormous amount of shields coming in from Bing Chillers so far. I don't think Rel fares very well into Renata Glass. They're going to double down. Bing Chillers are going to lock in Kindred and Ornn almost immediately. They seem to really know what they want out of their team composition. And for Mal Stixie, this is a very familiar look. He has definitely leaned towards more of the carry-oriented jungle style for the team. And surprised to see Contigo Poor actually lock in the Ornn there. He has normally been on sort of a more carry role, but maybe the Aatrox ban there might have pinched him down a little bit. So we'll see Inigo Montoya's. Yeah, here comes the Tom Kench. So that frog is actually a lot scarier than it looks on paper. So what do we think of these two compositions here?
I think the range advantage is going to be an interesting thing, right? Because the one thing you sacrifice when you go on hit Varus in a lot of these scenarios, especially if you are Fire himself for Bing Chillers, is you sacrifice a lot of your extra range, right? Because you nerf the damage on your 1,000 ranged piercing arrow by a lot. You're relying a lot more on auto attacks. And into this comp for MYNT Gaming, they're going to have one hell of a front line with a Rel and a Tom Kench. You're going to have a lot of range too. Breath of Light really far back. Kog'Maw can hit from pretty far as well once he gets his ultimate going, that living artillery. So I'm curious to see if this Varus will opt to lethality to have that extra range. It also is a factor, how can this Kindred stack up, right? Because you're going to need that range playing such a decently close quarters comp with an Ornn, with a Karma. Renata's not going to be able to get too far away unless she has a good hostile takeover. If MYNT Gaming can set up for a lot of these big neutrals before fights happen, their range alone is going to make this really problematic in my mind for Bing Chillers.
Yeah. As I look into the comps more and let them sort of marinate ideas in my head, I really like the composition coming from Bing Chillers here in game number 1. When you're playing Varus, and if you are indexing in that lethality, we don't know if he's going to go on hit or lethality just yet, but if you are indexing in that lethality, it's very important that you have some other source of consistent DPS. And I've never really played Rel Kindred jungle matchup, but I can almost promise you that this Kindred is going to be more than happy farming 2.5, 3 quadrants of the jungle and not feel threatened by Rel at all. So if Malstixi has an okay early game, the amount of disengage options, peel options for Bing Chiller's Diamond might not let the roster of MYNT Gaming really breathe here in game 1.
They certainly are going to have pushing lanes, right? Karma mid, very good at pushing, very good at poking people out. You get best champion for a 199 power spike in the game right now with Malignance. And bottom lane, even if this isn't lethality Varus, I still think they're going to have a lot of prio versus a Kog'Maw and a Lulu early on. So with that power, like you're mentioning, Malstixi is going to have more space to really operate. And this is where I'm going to reiterate a big reason why I enjoy casting with JordanBot is because he's the GM high elo player, and I'm the hard stuck play-by-play guy. So that's what we got you in here for, JordanBot, and we'll get you in here for a lot more as we are soon to get into game number 1. But before we get there, I've got a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, ProComps, our sponsor and a game changer app for the League community. This isn't just like the other tools you guys play around with. It's your personal draft coach, perfect for both team-oriented games and solo players as well. In fact, you compare it with any other app you use, guys, at home. So ProComp stands out with features like custom champ pools, personalized tier lists, and live draft advice. Think of it as having a virtual coach and a strategy toolkit all in one. They offer a real-time champ and ban recommendations. They already have over 200,000 downloads and thousands of daily users just like you. ProComps is user-friendly and totally free. It is a no-brainer to at least just give it a go. Download ProComps now and you'll experience a whole new level of drafting power in your League of Legends games. Go to procomps.gg, download it from Overwolf, or click the panel below on the stream. You'll have some time to do that as we are going into our spectator delay, but on the other side, the bout for first place in the Cosmic Division rages on with game number 1. We'll see you guys in just a few. What an all-important game number one we have on our hands, folks. If you were tuning in just late for this Bing Chillers Diamond versus Mint Gaming showdown, game number one, Jordan Bot, could mean a ton because we know if Bing Chillers can come out on top in this game, they set themselves up for a first place snag over Mint Gaming. But if they lose right here, even if they win the series, first place is locked up for Mint Gaming. Pretty much the biggest game one we've had all season.
Yep, super important here. And as we were talking in the break, love the disengage options coming in from Bing Chillers. I think mid lane priority in a Kindred matchup is so important and valuable. And we notice we're seeing lethal tempo taken on the Varus, so likely an on-hit Varus to contest. I like that a lot more with the Renata. And it's kind of funny, we're seeing a bit of a old meta versus potentially the new meta. So we see Karma Varus on the side of Bing Chillers, but then as the patches are coming through and the meta is sort of shifting away from those like lethality or early game prio options, we're seeing Aurelion Sol and Kog'Maw Lulu on the other side.
Yeah, I've seen Kog'Maw popping up a bit more. Sure. So we'll see if he has the 1v9 capability we were talking about before we got on here of Aurelion Sol. But yeah, that champion certainly disgusting, and one that at a certain point in the game, if he's standing still, you kind of just have to try and drop everything on him. That's how problematic I think he can be.
Absolutely, yeah. Anthony's got everything he needs for him to have a good game. He's got a Lulu behind him, and he's got a massive front line. So I'm interested to see how this one pans out. As we've seen, Myers and Botsmaven kind of get pushed around in the ADL in past matchups. But let's see if they can find their stride here on a very different looking bot lane.
Yep, one that certainly will accept if they fall behind a bit, but can't get completely taken out of the game here, as they are already starting to feel the poke. One thing we also saw as we loaded in, this is going to be that lethal tempo Varus coming out, as Anthony is already running straight at Valdir, dropping a ton of damage, and it's not often you see the Space Dragon flying towards the opposition.
Yeah, that's a tremendous amount of early trading, and you'll even see that Luckified has passed up towards his top lane, so he's going to be 3-camping into definitive activity, either top or mid here, and the Kindred opting in for more of a full clear style.
This is the power you get with the Rel early, right? Level 3 can get on and get the gank on to Contigo. Looking for it, gets a good stun through. Inigo Montoya does miss the Abyssal Dive, which gives a flash angle to Contigo, and he is able to get out, but still a good summoner to get off the rift so early.
Yeah, Inigo Montoya is going for the flash predict there. A lot of heavy trading in this mid matchup here. Rel gonna scout out to see where Kindred was. Now they sort of know, but with him showing top lane there, that's an invitation for Malstixi to go for a little counter jungle here. Takes the blue.
Luckified's back out. Great stun down. I think he get it to Anthony. First blood on the A-Soul. Malstixi showing up, looking for a trade, but Anthony with flash out will find himself safe, and they might find themselves a turn. Malstixi gonna flash after trying to get the kill. One more auto, but he's gonna fall short, and Anthony's A-Soul has 2 kills in the early game. Oh boy.
Just an absolute tragedy. The Rel Q flash coming out so fast, too fast for the Karma to react. And Malstixi in the area tries to pick up the pieces, but is a little bit indecisive around the Aurelion Sol E, and eats the worst end of that one. That's never what you like to see. Flash burned and goes down, but he wants more here. Luckified.
Yeah. Luckified now in every lane early on, and he might get himself a kill down here as well. Fireburn's flash and Ghost trying to run away. Myers has Ghost popped as well. A couple more autos. The crash down should do it. Luckified is leaving his impression all over the rift, but now Malstixi gonna look to find his revenge. That's a massive shutdown back over to Bing Chillers.
Okay, super important to take down Anthony there and disrupt the momentum that he had built for himself. But where Luckified is running the rift right now, appearances top, mid, and bottom in 4 minutes, no less. He says, I need 3 camps and 3 lanes to gank. Sign me up.
That's exactly what you got to do in this matchup, like you talked about. It's really hard for Luckified at all to affect the full clear, the farm ability of Malstixi, so I like just indexing into what makes Rel most potent, and that's ganking.
Yep, I completely love that. You see Fire coming out with the call off the reset, so going to be indexing for more of that mid-game power after the first item completion. So all is well on the rift, and you'll see Luckified take his first base here.
Malstixi looking to try and help get that shove going across. I believe he grabbed the first mark off of the Scuttle Crab. I believe the first one always goes there. It looks like he should be able to set himself up. Ooh, I guess he's a little wary of trying to take away those raptors, but he won't opt for them. Instead, look to grab, I believe, one of those first grubs, just like every Kindred player does. Just take one and get out there.
Yep. Very good. Keep a strong tempo in the jungle there. He's got a lot of his own camps to farm, and he's going to be rushing towards that level 6. Maybe he prioritizes more grubs. The lane pressure coming in from the Varus Karma is probably enough to make it worth it.
Not something you see every day, though, with those Kindreds.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to go here for all 3, and he will get them because Luckified is trying to get an invade onto that bot side jungle. Spotted out great, though, by call out Mayday. So the simple trade that I feel like I say this line every week, Jordan Bot. One guy gets 3 grubs early, the other one picks up first dragon, but at least for Malstixi, gotta love that he's going to get to 2 marks at the 6-minute mark.
Yeah, this is going to feel really, really great for Malstixi's Kindred, but a little bit worse for wear on to Kindred's lanes here with the amount of pressure coming in from Luckified's Rel. We're going to see how this kind of transpires, but Kindred has been invited to 2.5 or even 3 quadrants in this early game.
That he will grab, get himself at least a CS lead that is keeping this game close, despite the fact those 3 early kills fell into the hands of MYNT Gaming. Malstixi, though, might get jumped on. We know Inigo Montoya's fears and no one on this rift. No trade.
I think he might just go down here.
He doesn't have flash at all either. Going to try to jump away, but Inigo Montoya's flashes to get the devour, and the solo kill we know all in well comes through.
Yep. We were expecting that. Inigo Montoya makes Tahm Kench look like a carry player, and Fire is on the wrong side of the rift in this one. Looks like Anthony might have to get himself involved. He might just fly on over.
Walking down. Here come the turret shots. Get close enough. I think he will. Anthony's not going for it, so you know, wasted time, but still very valuable to not give that kill over.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too close. Maybe there's a little disconnect in communication there. Maybe they thought the kill was not on the table. So he'll take the fast base on that one.
It's tactical basing. League of Legends 101 right there. Okay, here we go. Call it force, got Inigo Montoya. He is completely surrounded. He doesn't get the Abyssal dive off. Malstixi picks up that kill. I'm curious if that was a marked kill as well, which would really just accelerate this Kindred. It was
3 marks already. Yeah, he's having a great game, and he seems to be picking up a couple risky deaths on these counter jungles, but or these invades rather, but seems to be getting right back where he needs to be in terms of the kills, finding Anthony there, and Inigo Montoya's in the top lane.
And you know, Jordan Bot, I watched a game this weekend where Kindred was so far behind in stacks that the 40-minute game, he only got to 3 because they couldn't reset past the enemy jungle camps. So it's honestly refreshing for me to see a Kindred that is on the opposite side of that spectrum. Getting to that range upgrade this early in the game, something we talked about in draft, could be really pivotal.
Yeah, that's why I was still so curious not to see the Volibear on the side of MYNT Gaming instead of this Rel, just because they've prioritized it so heavily in the past. It's got such high amount of priority in fighting ability, and when you're blinding Rel jungle, and they kind of knew where it was because of the Lulu, how like this Kindred on 4-5 is just so incredibly valuable.
We'll see how much he can do with that value, as we do see a pretty vertical jungle-oriented game coming on. Luckified's got some deep wards in that bot side jungle, but not much to create with that, right? Because the Karma's staying pretty safe. A really good freeze coming from Fire and call out Mayday as well, keeping them safe. And boy, look at that CS lead I just noticed, but we'll have to hold out on that one. Builder does get ganked. That's just flash off though, which is still pretty valuable.
Yep, Inigo Montoya is owning the top river and showing his presence in the mid lane, spreading that pressure a little bit. As the second grubs come back up, we're going to wonder if Malstixi is going to prioritize those.
Looks like right now he's just prioritizing getting control of his own jungle. Was spotted out on that ward crossing, so they'll know he's at least in the area. Maybe not know about this reset. The problem for Luckified, though, is that he's got some camps on the bot side to clear as those grubs are about to respawn. So gotta think that's a bit of an opening for Malstixi to get 6 grubs, especially with Anthony looking to reset.
Yep, I imagine that is what's going to transpire here, and I just want to emphasize so heavily how important it is that Malstixy got those first 2 kills. When you're playing Karma and Ornn as your solo laners, you absolutely need to carry somewhere, and Fire has not had a spectacular early game. He is well up in CS, but that execute and that early death in the gank earlier has stifled his momentum just a little bit.
And our logic's out the window as everybody roamed with Luckified to get those grubs. Good on Myers to get out. He nearly got pinched himself, but the blast won't keep himself safe. So no Void Mites to be in game number 1. And Malstixy might get punished once again for an invade. Slow gonna come across with Living Artillery. There's a Fallen Star drop down. Anthony's got a ton of damage. Hostile takeover does hit all 3 to keep Mayday safe, but he had to expend both summoners just to get out.
Yeah, not a good look there, but they are, I think, the call there. Oh, as we're seeing it all in the top lane.
Yeah, there's the Devour. Contigo matches with a flash. Good crash down from Luckified. Do they have enough damage, though? This is definitely a wet noodle fight. That Ornn is too tanky to deal with without a carry there.
Yeah, Luckified not opting into using the Storm, the ultimate right there, but we're seeing more fighting on the other lanes.
Anthony needs one more Q. He's certainly dead. This cooldown not up. The Mantra Q will whiff, and Anthony walking out, but with a couple of scrapes and bruises.
Yeah. If I had to guess what they're saying on the side of Big Chillers, they want to disrupt the Drake stacking coming in from MYNT Gaming, because I don't think you want this game to go super late. You've got options, but the scaling on the side of this Kog'Maw and the Aurelion Sol, you want to limit the amount of mid-late game transition power that they have. So they're prioritizing the Dragon here. It's not going to be completely free of risk, but they are going to sneak out of that one.
And you especially think about the fact that pure enchanter supports like a Lulu really just double down on the scaling factor of those teams, right? Because even when you get close to killing already a very hard to knock down Asol or a Kog'Maw, that wild growth, the shielding is just, it becomes so massive once that Lulu has items behind him. So certainly gonna want to play through your Karma, your Kindred to get yourself through a very powerful mid game, or like you mentioned, that ticking time bomb will explode. On to Big Chillers, something that is uber massive, Jordan Bot, because of the stakes of this game one.
Yep, 100%. I do love the disengage options from Big Chillers, as we talked about, with the Kindred ultimate and the Renata gas. Being able to stand your ground and sort of like shrug off what the Rel is going to do, or likely to do, in the team fights is one thing, but one thing that a Lulu comp usually has is evasiveness and move speed. I expect to see a Shirelia's picked up at some point. Anthony can go over walls on the Aurelion Sol. There is a lot of speed coming out from the side of MYNT Gaming, so if they are able to skirt in and out of these fights and use the Kog'Maw W to full effect and Anthony's Aurelion Sol spitting fire, I do kind of favor them in some of these fights.
Will say though, in the scaling conversation, important to mention that Contigo doing well on the Ornn, at least for levels, does mean order itemizations won't be behind schedule, which always also, just in a pure itemization gold factor, gives you that added advantage in the later game with everybody full build. But we are certainly pretty far away from that. Still have a lot of game to play here, and it looks like Luckified and Anthony, they're setting up to punish this bottom lane. A 4-man Wrecking Ball coming down. Call Out Mayday and Fire are under their turret virtually, but here comes the gank. Well, Call Out Mayday does get immediately brunted. Good CC combo, a stun leveled onto Fire as well, and that's as clean of a dive as it can come for MYNT Gaming.
Yeah, and that is why they are one of the top teams in the standings here, and we're seeing some wet noodle fights in the top lane, but here comes the Ornn.
All right, does catch the Abyssal Dive on the back end. Inigo Montoya able to stay safe. Malstixy does have the Lamb's Respite if he wants it. They roam Valdir up here as well, but diving at Tahm Kench can be pretty tricky. Not when Contigo makes it look easy. The Lamb's Respite will save him and drop the turret aggro. Flawless executions on dives for both teams.
Yep, love the cross mapping here. They identified that Inigo Montoya is going to be completely lonely with 4 members of MYNT Gaming coming down for that bot side play. They answer top, and the gold is going to be close, but here comes the tempo from Call Out Mayday.
Both flashes, Bots Maven lucky to get out there. On hit Varus means that piercing arrow doesn't do lethal damage a lot of the time. And the turret will go down, but flashes off 2 squishy members for MYNT Gaming going forward.
Yep, that's massive for Myers and Botsman to be able to get that turret cleanly as the Kog'Maw Lulu, get that full reset going, hopefully get some item completions. The Ardent Sensor is online for the Lulu. And then you'll expect to see a swap coming in from Anthony and Myers, because the Kog'Maw does want to live mid lane now.
Anywhere he can pick up those waves, just constantly shove. Should be able to get a Blade of the Rune King, I would assume that's going to be off by. And we see that, wow, I actually missed that. Mouse60's at 7 marks already.
Wow, he's having an absolute tremendous game, just really heavy focused on farming the objectives as well. He's got 3 of the grubs, the Rift Herald, and a dragon, and just living in Inigo Montoya's face on the Kindred.
That's an insane amount of range the Mouse60 is going to be able to have access to. Speaking of things that are going to be accessed when this dragon spawns in a minute, a big point of contention. First Sky's Descent of the game for Anthony is available, has enough Stardust, and that ultimate is as impactful as it comes. Yeah,
similar to the idea of sort of the Corki package with teams, when the mid laner is able to obtain that amount of just raw power in these fights, it forces the enemy team into a very uncomfortable position, because with the threat of that coming down, as we see, Anthony might even just use it right now.
Yep, drops it on a Valdir. A good flash away will keep him safe. And Mouse60 very much online with this Kindred, wants to fight, flashing forward, but there's a great Wild Grove. Myers stays safe. Contigo will find the kill on the flank, and Valdir does get a Mantra Q to kill Anthony off, and the tank Ord coming up huge here for Big Chillers. Contigo answers the call with the teleport, and is still going to chase down bots. Maybe a good flash. The Bellows Breath picking that one up, and they actually might not stop. Luckified eats a handshake. Good flash away from Call Out Mayday. Shoots out the hostile takeover. Luckified to be killed off by fire. Inigo Montoya has to find a trade, but he's got no friends left. But this is one tanky frog, and he likes his odds up against this Karma. A lot of great health to access. Goes for the Abyssal Dive. Gonna find Valdir. Gonna pick up the kill. One more auto could do it, and it's a trade. We'll pick one off to fall Inigo Montoya's.
Oh my gosh, Contigo Poor playing absolutely out of his mind there, playing like a first place top laner, and as we see the dust settled, a massive team fight, punches thrown on both sides, a lot of gold traded, and the dragon is going to be picked up from Big Chillers. Good looks from them.
And have about a 2k gold lead. At the end of the day, that ends up being a pretty delayed ace, but 5 kills nonetheless. Certainly was close though on multiple points there. Gotta think Valdir doesn't have that mantra powered Q. Does he find the kill onto Anthony? Myers, if he dies earlier on and Mouse60 doesn't get trade off, how does that fight look at? And that's what you expect from 2 teams that are vying for the top spot in the Cosmic Division.
Yeah, absolutely. Mouse60 kind of wanted to fight fire with fire, but really didn't have too many members of his team on behind his back there. Tried to take a fist fight and try to get the headshot on Myers there. Does succeed marginally, but goes down as payment. You see a massive shutdown coming in onto Contigo Poor's Ornn.
And that's gold that you're going to get, right? I mean, Contigo, if he's playing Ornn right, he is going to die. Like, that is the point of Ornn. So we'll see who's able to actually grab that sneaky bounty. Could be massive, especially as some of these players are getting pretty close to their 2-item power spikes, which will be massive for guys like Mouse60, for Fire, for Anthony, for Myers, who are all at least holding components towards that second spot.
Yeah, but Valdir picking up the Malignance on the Karma. We always talk about that spike. That's a tremendous amount of power that they're able to tap into for the coming fights. And yeah, I was going to push back a little bit on the Ornn point about him dying, because Ornn sometimes reaches immortal status, but with the amount of tank busting and shredding coming in from the Kog'Maw and Anthony, as I'm saying that, Luckified's kind of getting jumped on here.
Yeah, the Mantra Q with the Malignance and Mouse60's damage, the hostile takeover to sing it home with a cherry on top, and a Chains of Corruption even forces bots to make him flash right back on cooldown. Good pick over to Big Chillers.
Yep, they absolutely own this top side jungle. And Myers and Buck have been unable to really pressure. Yeah, 9 marks on that Kindred, and not overstate how strong and powerful he is going to be this game.
All right,
he's going to be the carry they need him to be.
Going. They have Valdir pinned. Anthony drops the Falling Star. A little bit off. Too much to chew there for Big Chillers. Well, 60 drops the Lamb's Respite, but he's going to get spit out of it. Great recognition from Inigo Montoya's. Problem is, on the other side, Fire picks up the kill on to Myers, but the passive will sing through to make sure Call Out Mayday falls. And the ebbs and flows this game, one continuing as MYNT Gaming punch back.
Yep. Every other champion knows the walls. Anthony does not care. He will fly above them, and he will take down all of the players that he wants to. Mid tower will fall, and MYNT Gaming take another decisive punch despite being down 2k gold.
Now there's lots to look forward to, Jordan Bot, right? You've got Baron up. Next dragon about 2 minutes away. This is where that setup portion of the game we talk about so much becomes integral for both squads.
Yep, Baldur's got to be very active on this Karma. He's got to restrict the movements of MYNT Gaming here with the mantra queues coming out. Got to restrict the amount of corridor access that they have, because if Anthony knows all the information he needs to fly over these corridors, the fight's all but over. Rift Herald going to get a bit of a crash in the mid lane. Nico Montoya's looking a little worse for wear, but he'll be okay.
So is Fire, though, who I believe hasn't taken a reset since that latest fight. And he's got to be a bit careful. Renata's shielding and help him out. And this is just classic Inigo Montoya's. I mean, sometimes I'm convinced he plays with health bars off somehow.
Yeah, these are the known as the carry tank players. Not a carry top, not a strong side player, but the carry tank. Here
comes the carry for MYNT Gaming as Anthony just burns down Call Out Mayday in an instant. Cerulean Soul very much so online. The 2 items available, Sky's Descend as well, means this is a free Baron turn.
Wow. And just like that, MYNT Gaming gonna kind of turn this game up on its head. Very close contention for a while. Bank Chiller's coming out with a lot of great punches here, but we're gonna see bots maybe go down to the Baron there.
Does that give an opening to Mouse Stixie? He's going to go forward. The Baron decently low. Myers having to flash away as well. The carry's far too low here for MYNT Gaming. While Stixie going to claim 1. Baron is not reset just yet, and the door now wide open for Big Chillers. It's going to have to be a steal over the wall from Luckified to keep this one alive, or maybe Sky's Descend to get it done. Massive ultimate drop. Lamb's Respite having to come out. The jungler can't get close enough. It's secured by Luckified, and Anthony's just breathing fire on everybody. Shutdowns galore. Good flash away. Katigo can't even find a trade. Call Out Mayday now here as well. Drops hostile takeover. Only can hit Luckified. Vailder now finds a good turn with the Malignants. They don't pick up the Baron, but they do have the health bars and the numbers to knock down as many members as possible. Inigo Montoya might not care about his health bar, but one way or another, he's going to head towards a Grace Queen. The question becomes, can he take one with him again? No, he will not. And Big Chillers make sure there's a heavy price to pay for MYNT Gaming's Baron take.
Yeah, Luckified had to zero in on that one, use the Rel execute to get that Baron. Very risky play. Bot's even going to be scratching his head over getting killed by the Baron 1v0, and Big Chillers strike back in a big way. You understand now why these teams are fighting for first place.
See why this game 1 is so impactful, the way they're playing it. They both know the stakes that are available here. This Mountain Drink can be massive, because even if this game goes long, which we do feel like favors MYNT Gaming, giving a Mountain Drake over to a comp with a Karma and an Ornn could be massive, and it looks like with Mouse Stixie's damage, they might just be able to pick this one up. Teleports are coming through. Luckified's right at the dragon, but he's getting rooted up. He's getting a ton of damage dropped over. Nico Montoya, he's right into the backline. That's giving Anthony the go button to just burn through fire. The dragon is still up and kicking. Mouse Stixie will secure it, but he's going to dive for it in droves. MYNT Gaming get another great position fight, and they're going to find a bunch more to boot. The burn not enough as Anthony stands tall. This mighty Ace Soul is so potent.
Vailder almost coming out with the Renata reset there. Almost takes Botsmaven and Anthony to the grave with him. Goes down. A little bit tragic coming in there. Third dragon picked up, but at what cost? Big Chillers lose 3.
Look at that purchase there from Anthony. He had the Dark Seal. I was curious if he'd do it. And he's got the Medjai's locked in, already at 20 stacks. So, panel man, if you thought the Ace Soul already hurt, going to be a lot worse going forward unless you can knock him off.
Yeah, Anthony having about the game that we expected him to. He absolutely is the carry for this team, the centerpiece, if you will. Luckified more supportive on the tank role, and we're seeing him navigate this Kindred matchup really well, knowing where to strike, when to strike. We're going to see Ornn hit level 14, get his first masterwork item, and give his teammate, give Fire, the upgraded Ginsu's there. But with Mouse Stixie having as many stacks as he does on the Kindred, they are just so powered up and able to contest.
And the fact that he's nearly at 11 at 25 minutes is insane production for sure. So we'll see if he can hit that mark. Obviously, he's going to have to get him off of a champion kill, or I believe now Baron or Dragon. So not the easiest access to those stacks, but I feel like he's already in a great spot. If he hits 11, it's not going to matter much more how many stacks he gets. 11 is just so potent.
Yeah, he's hitting really hard, but they really need to, on the side of Big Chillers, they really need to come up with an answer for how we're gonna kill this this Aurelion Soul. This guy is worth 1,000, almost no defensive items. He's got HP, but no Zanyas, no Banshees, very limited defense there. He's got the Lulu. Bots Maven will aim to protect him, but you wonder how are they gonna get onto him? A Chain of Corruption can come out at any moment coming from Fire, and that could turn the entire tide of battle here.
They have a couple of ultimates that can at least close the distance, but that's only half the battle, and you still have to land them all. Upsell Takeover, difficult to land. Call the Forge God is obviously a very visible ult when it comes out, and you mentioned the Chains of Corruption. I gotta think, I don't know about you, Jordan Bot, but in my casting career, Chains of Corruption has to be the most missed ultimate I've seen in games of every level.
Other than Nidalee Spear on Scuttle Crab, I completely agree with you. One other element that we talked about before is it was very likely we're going to see, as we see, Velder is caught up the river without a paddle and
dead.
He's gone.
Yep, great pick there. You can see the vision line in the bot side jungle. 2 pinks create so much space. And now Big Chillers are in a tough spot. They're going to try and push up and take this mid turret, but it's going to cost them. Yeah, they're getting flanked again. Call out Mayday gets the knockup, gonna turn for the hostile takeover, but it's only gonna hit damage. There's a lot of damage, and the tank is already gone. Great spacing there from Big Chillers, and now if you're MYNT Gaming, do you still want to commit to this fight? It looks like Luckify does. Sprinting forward, looking for a crash down angle, but the angle is cut off, and Big Chillers survive taking a turret and a top laner.
Yeah, when the Ornn is in proper formation, there's kind of no really going forward after that, but Inigo Montoya is biting off a little bit more than he could chew there. Yeah, what we were talking about before is the mobility coming in from the side of MYNT Gaming, with the Lulu having access to Shurelya's, with Anthony not really caring about walls. This team is very mobile, and so it's very hard for Call Out Mayday to be really effective with his Renata ultimate here. So it's kind of on Fire to find an area of sort of restricted vision to operate in, to maybe land the Chain of Corruptions from Fog. But you notice how many pink wards on the side of MYNT Gaming. They really own a lot of what is both sides of the jungle and mid lane here.
Might lead to another catch. I thought Call Out Mayday might get jumped on, but he won't be. And the Vision Wars is what really starts setup wars, which starts the real wars, which are for these dragons. You can see the setup wars kind of going well for Luckify Company. Who's very tanky. That's a huge Metal Storm crash down. Here comes Skies Ascend. The Lamb's Respite immediately answered out, but is anybody in the ultimate? Call Out Mayday isn't. Luckify is going to die on the front line. Katiko taking up as much damage as he can. Inigo Montoya is back forward. The Abyssal Dive. Great health won't help him, but Anthony has so many low health targets, and Myers is untouched. Flashing forward, looking to be the hero. Here comes Anthony, ignoring all those walls, but he eats a Mantra Q and has to go golden just to survive. Velder doing a good job keeping his carry safe, and we scathe away dead even in this fight.
Yeah, blinking health bars on both sides is probably going to favor Myers on this Kog'Maw. He's still got HP, and they're able to shred this dragon, interrupting the soul for the side of Big Chillers. Front lines on both sides are traded out. It looked like Luckified was kind of suicide engaging, but the raw power coming in from the Skies Descend on Anthony, it just, everyone has to evacuate the dance floor and kind of has to put a pause on everything that's going on. Then all these cooldowns come through. Call Out Mayday wasn't even able to use his Renata ulti, goes down without using that one, and these fights are incredibly close here in game one.
Yeah, the immediate answer is to run away from the Skies Ascend, but it's also, I think Mal60 is just auto-dropping Lamb's Respite, even if health bars are very high up, because you just can't risk dying to that ultimate. So you go 1-for-1 with those ults. Skies Ascend, though, won't be available, as it looks like MYNT Gaming are at least going to try and set up for a Baron play once more.
Yep. Anthony now without the Seeker's Arm Guard, limited safety on him. He does have access to the Flash, and like we talked about, the protection of the front line and the Lulu behind him. But these fights are getting closer and closer, and Mal60 combined with Fire are really ramping this damage here.
And you saw just there, Inigo Montoya, he's about 66% HP because he tanked one Mantra Q, and that's because he's full armor, baby. So if Velder can get those Qs down on Inigo Montoya, he can really shred this Tahm Kench
Yeah, he's got to be a big decider in terms of map control right now because they're jockeying for position. They're trading waves, so Valder's going to get a head start on this side wave. They're going to get resets on the side of MYNT Gaming, but the vision is actually so important, and you see the over-index on pink wards on the side of MYNT Gaming here. They control so much of the river. It's so restrictive for Big Chillers to walk in anywhere without the threat of an engage.
We're finally getting Big Chillers actually able to establish decent vision. It's been really scorning them these last couple minutes. They haven't been able to set up for a lot of these fights, and
Baron doing a lot of damage right here.
Yeah, season 14 Baron, baby. Luckified, main engage, might be looking for an angle, gets the stun on him out. Stixie won't go for the crash down though. Still biding his time, but we've got all 10 players in a really tight window here. That Monster Q just really hurt.
Yep, Big Chillers should be happy with this because they've got their side waves in a good spot. But we're seeing here comes the engage, and Inigo Montoya kind of misses everything.
Oh, that hostile takeover is going to split up the back line, and they're going to burn the front line through. MYNT Gaming's front line's gone. Anthony has no real protections. The Starfall isn't enough overall damage, and Bance Maven is already so low. Vailder flashing for the Q. The Chunks Myers very low, looking for more resets. The Karma speed ups. It has to be Anthony. The Wild Growth dropped down, but all of his friends are dying around him. Look how much space the Breath of Light can make. But the Lamb's Respite keeps all members of Big Chillers up, and now they get a Baron for free.
Wow, what a masterclass of team fightings. Like a really scuffed engage coming from Inigo Montoya. Can't really just blow the Tahm Kench W with the amount of damage and ramp damage coming in from Big Chillers. Fire and Malstixie just and Felder just hitting so hard. This Tahm Kench is really just a health bar, especially when you use your W like that. So really, they need to give their head a shake, and they can't go for these kind of engages. 5v5 straight up just in their face. The disengage options come through. The engage gets snuffed, and then Anthony can't really pick up the pieces.
Yeah, fighting in that jungle is so rough with Call of the Forge got hostile takeover. I mean, those jungle paths basically line up those ults for you. And you saw call out Mayday. I mean, he split spots Maven and Myers halfway back towards the river. Anthony is over that wall like you talked about. If the fights line up well in the jungle for Big Chillers, they are going to be pretty happy, despite the fact that a full item Kog'Maw and Ace Soul certainly can be scary.
Yep, 100% Slayer. We're at 32 minutes, and we've got basically a dead even game. You can favor either side, make any argument you want for the scaling on either side. One side has Ornn items, one side has Aurelion Soul Cog Lulu, but we've got a dead even game. I love to see League of Legends played out this way when the stakes are high.
Full build here for Anthony with that Medjai. Curious to see if he dies, he'll adapt for a different item. But for now, like you talked about, is maximizing his damage output. Baron only going to claim a tier 2 mid turret here for Big Chillers, but I gotta think they're just looking to get lanes pushed so they can get space to try and grab this Mountain Soul in 30 seconds.
Here comes MYNT Gaming. They're going to try and regain some of this control. If they can set up Anthony the way he needs to be set up, I do still think Anthony can run away with this one. Here comes
Inigo Montoya. That's a big hostile takeover. It hits all the backline. Bots Maven died to his own 80 carry, but Anthony is still up and firing. Good call. The Forge gun. Contigo finally pinned Anthony with a big knockup. He will get out, but once more, his teammates will fall around him. Good shutdown from Inigo Montoya. Gets some big healing. Anthony's still alive. Malstixie on the other end gets Lamb's Respite down. He'll heal through once more. And another closely contested fight has Anthony as the only survivor, but look at the prize for Big Chillers.
Wow, what insane, again, just another insanely close team fight. The Kindred ultimate, so effective. Mayday finally gets out a really good Renata ulti, but then the skies descend, everything goes dark, and the fight is stalled out. Who will win at the end of this one? Soul picked up for Big Chillers. You got to think they're feeling pretty happy about that one.
Still got a lot of standing gold to take, and on the flip side, that means MYNT Gaming still have some turrets to lean on. Their base isn't broken, so they're not really tunneled in on their base just yet, and they're still waiting on some of these items to come through. We've talked about how big Kog'Maw can be in the later game, but Myers is still just pretty gold starved. I mean, he is just now hitting that 3-item threshold, and that's just not going to cut it at this point in the game.
No, yeah, Fire is worlds more powerful than him, even though the champion difference with the power of Lulacog, as we all know, but he is a dirt poor, feeling a little bit weaker under the curve where he would like to be. Anthony's got all the gold in his pocket and doesn't have any more item slots to do anything with it. So good for them to catch up, but still a dead even affair.
I can't believe Anthony hasn't died yet still. I mean, now he has the Zanyas, right? So that helps him a bit more, but I don't know. Maybe it's the solo queue branding me, Jordan, but whenever I see a champion on the enemy team with 25 Magi stacks, I'm tunneled on killing them. And that's why I'm not playing competitive.
100%. I would say victory if we took down Anthony this game. Mayday gonna take a chunk at
Liquefied. And look how tanky Contigo is. I mean, how many health bars does that guy have right now? My word.
Yeah, that's got to be at least 6,000-7,000 shield. Yeah, that's he's a tanky boy. We've got the front line. We've got the front line on both sides.
Yeah, but I favor that Ornn, especially the way Contigo's been playing it. I mean, we talked so much about that last team fight, but he knocks Anthony out of Breath of Life twice at points. He flashes for the double knockup. And I know I talked about how this Ornn dies a lot, but you proved me wrong.
Yeah, you got to think, is Bing Chillers able to take down Anthony's teammates enough time to be able to take their Nexus? Because this dragon ain't going anywhere. This guy's not getting weaker, and this guy is absolutely firing, but he's not getting set up for success by his team enough. They're not buying him enough space. He's getting interrupted. It's feeling a little bad, and Myers is having a quiet game.
And you talked about it, the disengage tool is so potent here for Bing Chillers that Inigo Montoya and Liquefied have to really pick their battles, right? And we might see another catch here. Inigo Montoya, is he just dead? He doesn't even get the gray health through. The might of Bing Chillers finds another pick once more. Now to think, how many more times can MYNT Gaming get away with losing their front line like that?
Yeah, that is a 50-second death timer. So you're going to see the Siege empowered by Karma and Varus and Kindred with all that range that we talked about. Are they going to be able to perforate the base here? Because those Mantra Qs are absolutely smashing the health bars of MYNT Gaming. They're going to be snuffed out of their base, and such a commanding performance coming in here from Bing Chillers, able to retake what was largely a MYNT Gaming owned Rift.
The next prize is going to be the base. Hard to stop these waves, especially Malstixi can just start shooting at your front line from what feels like a screen away. Base finally broken open, this inhibitor to fall next, and at some point, MYNT Gaming are going to have to go for a play. Here's Inigo Montoya backup, has teleport. Not a lot of good flank wards if he wants to go for it. And they're just going to let them walk out. Their inhibitor down, but look what's up on the Rift now.
Yep. Baron is an option. Another potential mark for the Kindred. The vision heavily favoring Bing Chillers. Are they able to walk in and face check some of these? Rel does have a massive smite securing, so it could be a 50-50 if MYNT Gaming buy Liquefied enough space, but they could just eyeball the fight. They do have Sky's Descend. They are going to control the top corridor of that Baron. 9k, Baron very healthy. Both teams trying to just staring each other out, feeling each other. Fire getting push, head start on push in the mid lane and starting to pinch out and making MYNT Gaming sweat a little bit.
I like this. This is really cool, calm, and collected, as everyone likes to throw out. Don't risk a 50-50. How many throws at Barons have you seen in North America at any level? And Bing Chillers know that.
Yeah, Slayer, it's just our region. Just North America.
I swear I've seen the most here versus anywhere else. I swear.
And they rise up. All right. They still own the red side jungle. Will they? They're going to clear the pink ward at the Baron. We are getting to the very late portions of the game. Ogma still struggling to put together items, but full build coming in through for Anthony. Actually, no one else has full build.
Nope.
It's still just Anthony. I was expecting this game's been an absolute banger. Baron, and it's just going to be gone. Big Chillers now hold the keys to the car. They are in the driver's seat.
I believe that is a record 15th mark there from Malstixi, so somehow he got to the 15th range buff. Yep, that is insane.
Yep, getting up a little bit too ahead of curve in this one. Elder spawning in about 20 seconds. You gotta imagine they're gonna push the wave, they're gonna peel off, drop a bunch of wards if they have them on the right side. Very limited vision because Mint Gaming, Big Chillers has not really taken a reset in a very long time. Mint Gaming's been restricted to their own base, so the vision game a little bit hard for them to maintain, but they do have control. They could take initiative towards this Elder.
You talked about it. How one wave of supers isn't that impactful if you're able to give resources back over, but who needs those conversations? This fight could define first place in the Cosmic Division. Elder's getting started up here, but who's gonna make the first move here? Certainly, if you're being Chillers, you like for it to be Mint Gaming. You've played Disengage all game long so successfully. Anthony free firing on this Elder. There's no shot. We're about a 50-50 this Elder, right? It's burning down. And here goes forward. Here comes the Skies Descend. The hostile takeover doesn't hit many, but Anthony finally gets the angle he needs. Myers flashing forward into the Lamb's respite. He'll be able to get out, and Mint Gaming have finally found their fight angle, and they might just crown themselves first place in the Cosmic Division with the fight of dreams.
Mint Gaming coming out with a massive wombo combo there. There is a reason they put Luckified on the Rel and not the Volley Bear. They'll secure the Elder. They'll get the team fight. The death timers are long, but there are no minions in position for them to really perforate the base. I don't think this is an end. The death timers will be ticking. But what a massive victory for Mint Gaming there. They absolutely wanted the Elder flip, but they wanted the team fight. Luckified had blood in the water, and he had blood in his eyes. He went straight for the throat, and he got a massive engage there.
Anthony was never disturbed. That hostile takeover didn't hit him. It didn't hit Myers. And how about the very malnourished Kog'Maw flashing forward just to make sure these kills are secured? No fear in any members of Mint Gaming. And with the way the game has gone the last 10 minutes, man, do I hold a lot of respect for it.
Yeah, so items will be starting to get completed on the side of Mint Gaming here. They've collected a massive amount of this standing gold. You wonder, are they going to be the ones to now take control of the river, get some of those pink wards down, and are they going to have the first jump at the next fight?
Still pretty even. Not at this point because Elder is the most broken buff in League of Legends history, but once that one drops off, because the waves aren't very great, if you can wait out Elder, Big Chillers are still just as much in this game as long as they don't let that last fight loss affect their mental too much.
Yeah, it's 60 seconds on the Elder, so with them being able to cripple this wave in the mid lane, there's almost no chance that they can really find a fight. Big Chillers just have to Bing chill and not give them the fight that they want against the Elder Dragon. So we're going to be at an even footing once again.
Oh. And Anthony's
What a game
still
one!
yeah, man. And Anthony's still not dead, by the way. I'm still sitting on 25 Magi stacks, and he already has Skies Descend back up, which is huge.
Yeah, hasn't died in about 30 minutes of gameplay. And I was saying that are Mint Gaming are Anthony's teammates going to set him up for success in these team fights? But it almost looked like Anthony was setting Luckified up for success. He found the engage, and the follow-up was like instant.
A lot to play for on the map, which just means everybody's got to sit and let their heart rates hit 170 beats per minute for a bit longer here. Baron is more than 2 minutes away. And this is what really builds the tempo of these late League of Legends games. It can be kind of boring, but it's something that I love because it just builds more tension. I'm pretty certain that unless somebody messes up the next minute 30, it's just going to be clear and wave duty for both these squads.
Games like these make me so excited for playoffs. This is the last game of the season. Playoffs are all like I'm pretty sure I'm correct in saying playoffs are clinched for both of these teams. Yep. And they're just playing out of their mind like it's World's Finals.
All for seeding, all for the ability to choose their opponent in our single elimination playoff bracket, which in a state like that can be so integral. What we're looking towards next now, before we look too far into the future, is that good old vision game once more. We are so far into a game that the supports are getting Ornn augments. That's how far into this one we are.
Yep, call it Mayday. Gonna feel pretty good about that one. Shirley has picked up on both sides, so now the movie season disparity is matched. Teams are going to eye each other. There's no clear side wave advantage on either side. Top lane is pushing for Bing Chillers, but bot lane is pushing for MYNT. So I don't give any. I give the next game. The game winner is going to be the next fight. I do believe.
It's got to go as even as all the fights to be different. And it looks like in classic North American fashion, we are A-ramming it. Luckified, he's got to be the big engage, looking for an angle. Contigo, he's burned through all of his shields, but that's a massive Mantra Q on the back line. Myers and Bots maybe going to feel that one. Redemption,
really good redemption.
Contigo going forward. There's the hostile takeover. Such a key ultimate that whiffs, and that's going to give Luckified an angle in. Doesn't get any of those carries though. All the Forge God coming out, and look how low Luckified gets. Sky's Descent drops down, and the tanks have been carried. And Inigo Montoya is going to swallow Mouse Dixie up and spin him out, and the whole team immediately fires the Lamb's Respite through. Everyone's standing in it. Nobody wants to die just yet, but Anthony gets picked off on the side. Mouse Dixie stays safe. It's Valdir and Mouse Dixie versus the world. But where is the damage from MYNT Gaming? It's the support and top laner left up, and Mouse Dixie knows it. Gets the Karma speed up.
Big Chillers.
And they're running right for it. Jordan Bot. Mouse Dixie likes his range, likes his damage, likes everything about this scenario. But do they have enough to finish the game? I don't think so. We're still in it, as they should only be able to secure this inhibitor at most.
What a banger team fight. Engage whiff after engage whiff. Going forward on these players, you got to go a lot slower than that. Luckified getting a little bit over eager when he saw the Renata gas coming out to no value. Only really caught the Ornn in his combo, and then left Anthony kind of to pick up the pieces. He goes for a desperation play, trying to breathe fire over Bing Chillers, and goes down at the price of it. First death from him, and I want to say 30 minutes of gameplay. Gonna feel a little bit bad, but they're still absolutely in it. Elder spawning in 20 seconds. You gotta imagine both teams are absolutely hightailing it for the bottom river.
I'm surprised there's no GAs on either side. You see a Quicksilver stash coming through for Myers. We'll see if he can finally come aligned with that Kog'Maw. He's finally at an itemization point where this Kog'Maw will be integral, but like you mentioned, how much of that really matters when Elder hits the Rift once more?
Yeah, Valdir's gonna need to come out with another massive backline Mantra Q. I think that was a massive boost that they had in that fight that made that a lot closer.
Look at this, the Golem in gaming. They had the vision set up, they have the mid wave, they're burning the Elder, and nobody's close. Valdir's so far away, this is way below. It's gonna have to be a Mouse Dixie steal, or Elder is in the hands of MYNT Gaming. He's jumping into the pit late. Is he gonna steal it on the back line? He will pick it up. Fire gets the first kill. Anthony is staring down the might of Big Chillers, and we finally have a result, but the first place will not be locked up. Fire finds Anthony. There's the shutdown through. Elder sings it home. And ladies and gentlemen, first place is still alive in the hands of Big Chillers as they win the most definitively awesome game one of the season.
The clutch steal coming in on the Elder Dragon from Mouse Dixie there. Oh my god, what insane team fighting. And I gotta shout out Contigo Poor here. His Ornn horns this game were absolutely immaculate, really restricting what Anthony tried to do all game on this Aurelion Soul. He's just getting interrupted over and over and over again. Massive performance from him, but Big Chillers really came together as a team.
Oh, we have to do at least one more game? I don't know if I can make it. My god. Wow, what a game one. I mean, there's so much that we could talk about and highlight. A 48-minute banger, at least for on stream. Longest game of the ADL season, and arguably the closest game of the ADL season as well in that same marker, Jordan Bot. But the headline that'll read, if we had a newspaper for game number one, Bing Chillers Diamond, still a shot at the top spot.
Yep. We had so many questions coming into this one. Was the team composition going to favor which team? Is the scaling going to come online? We went the full distance, and we got to see the full effect of Aurelion Soul, Kog'Maw, Lulu against the Kindred, the Karma Shields, the Renata, and the better team fighting team seemed to come out ahead in this one.
Well, you know, honestly, folks, I think everybody needs a breather. So I'm going to send us to a break, let all of our heart rates go back to what doctors would consider a healthy resting heart rate, and we'll be back. Game number two, MYNT Gaming. They still just need to win a game. They don't even need to win the series, and first place is theirs. But they've only got one more shot at it. Game number two, the potential, albeit the ultimatum first place finisher draft coming your guys' way after the break. All right, everybody. I hope we've all settled down, or more aptly described, settle in, because honestly, the stakes just get crazier from here. So I know I said that game one was the most pivotal game one of the entire ADL season, but with that win, Jordan Bot, that makes this game two arguably even more important than the last game we just watched.
Yep, first place absolutely on the table for both these teams. Reminder, Bing Chillers need to win the next 2 games to secure first place. Mint Gaming win 1, and they are first place regardless of what happens in the series.
Well, I mean, Bing Chillers just have to win this one because they get the 2-0 sweep, right? That's
right. Completely accurate. Slayer is much smarter at formats than I am. I talk League of Legends. As we're getting into this draft, Mint Gaming been out, the Smolder, the Senna off the table, Karma taken out as the adaptation, Bing Chillers taken out, Varus, Tristana, Callista really pinching Myers champion pool? No, Myers champion pool, known for the lane dominant 80 carries. Zach, first pick.
Wow.
Very likely a luckified special. Team played it in the jungle very frequently on this team. Doesn't look like a top flex, at least at the naked eye. What will Bing Chillers respond in? You got to anticipate a couple cancels on the side.
Okay, well, Orianna can not really cancel.
You typically pair that with a dominant jungle pick. No stranger there. Now Stixie will look to pick up his pick of the litter. Something dominant early. Expect to see a Zinzao, Volibear, maybe the odd Viego, or maybe they come out with a different look there.
Oh.
Gonna elect just for the Xayah, secure fire some comfort.
Yeah. I feel like Xayah's rose a bit more back into the meta. She'll be very back in the meta once the Infinity Edge changes come through, which we're not currently on, right? That's next patch, Mr.
Correct.
Knows, yeah, you know more about League. I'm the king of formats. That's me. When I was a young boy, I told my parents I wanted to grow up and know everything about formatting. That's the fact.
All right. So
the lovers are broken up, though.
Yep, gonna steal away the Rakan. That is almost purely a denial pick. Call It Mayday is very well known. Played the Rakan numerous times in the ADL as well. Most played in solo queue. So that's a denial pick. So is Bots Maven going to be able to pilot the Rakan at a high enough level? Because you're already looking at a tough target. Rakan's job in getting onto Xayah is a little bit tough. As Zach to help. But then Orianna is going to need some safety. So what will they round out with this one? Jinx also on the side of Mint Gaming.
Oh, I like this pick. I think Janna has a very good place in the meta. And like you mentioned, has more than one ability that can knock a Zac out of his elastic slingshot. So I think this is a great pick. I find Janna really annoying right now. Jinx, though, picked up for Myers as he is just all about those scaling AD carries, and I'm already getting flashbacks to the last time Jordan Bot, me and you specifically watched Mr. Myers on Jinx.
Yep. He's had a very rocky split here in the ADL. Some shining lights and some dark moments. So we're going to see, is that the Aurelian Soul targeted at Anthony? Almost both mid bans, I would expect, coming in from Bing Chillers, wanting to pinch that pool. Mint Gaming says you will not take the Ornn this time around. Contigo Poor played very well on the Ornn in game one, was the unkillable front line, and Inigo Montoya's on the Tahm Kench was caught out way too many times. The team fighting power coming, the disparity in the Tahm Kench to the Ornn is just not close, and we got to see that in full effect. So Ari, the other ban for Bing Chillers.
Taking away a mid laner that could certainly run right up alongside a Zac and a Rakan, so just ensuring you get rid of some of those threats with the already pretty potent mobility of mid-game. You could argue all 3 champions have potent mobility, depending on if you get that excited reset on over towards Jinx. So don't hate that ban. Aatrox and Ornn getting banned back-to-back definitely signals to me that Contigo is very wide open in his champ pool, I would say, if you can play those 2 champions pretty well. You got basically every type of top laner covered except those disgusting range top lane players that we don't talk
Yeah,
about.
we don't do that. Okay, so they're going to go for the Nocturne Orianna combo. And now, Slayer, I've got a bit of a read here, some insider information. Anthony likes to play 1v9 champions. I'm expecting a Sylas or a Jace here for the side of mid gaming. And I'm going to be completely wrong. They're going to lock Hui. I don't think you go Hui into the backline access that is Nocturne Orianna, but I could be wrong because he's got the protection that is the Rakan and the Zac there. And then the question becomes, what will Inigo Montoya's lock for himself in the top lane? Will it be the Tahm Kench again? Will it be the Gnar? He is going to be blind picking.
It's another game, though, where we have Big Chillers indexing more into control of the game and the fights while lacking the scaling, because Jinx and Hui, man, do they scale. Once again, it's two different champions in the last game, but still two that scale very hard. Sejuani going to be the hover, and would you look at that? It's Inigo Montoya that's going to be playing Zac at the end of the day.
I can almost definitively say Luckified will be taking the Sejuani this time around. Does have double melee with the Rakan and the Zac. They do have their front line, so that does look pretty good. And you kind of dodge the idea that Janna is going to make your life a living hell on the Zac, because your E is going to get canceled. But when you're playing the side lane, top lane, noodle fight, or whichever, that tool becomes less potent. But you're going to see a Darius locked in for Contigo Port on the side of Bing Chillers. He's going to go for that carry matchup. He can cancel the Zac. He can control the Zac, and he is up against a very low damage top jungle 2v2.
I like it. I like the call from Contigo. He honestly balled out on tank duty. Gotta reward the man with a shot to carry through here. A lot of damage, a lot of dive ability on Big Chillers to really just disrupt Jinx and Hui. But can they do it quick enough? Because MYNT Gaming, if a fight goes long enough, they can really, really ramp up in ways that really nobody can match.
Yep, I could not agree more. I do love the Darius R5, but the amount of crowd control, the amount of kite coming in from MYNT Gaming, they can really make sure that team fighting is a very difficult task. With the amount of raw range and damage coming in from Anthony, we know he's going to go absolutely crazy this game. And Xayah never likes approaching a fight at half health.
Well, you know what's not a difficult decision there during bot? Downloading Coachify. Aegis Esports League of Legends is sponsored by Coachify.gg for our winter 2024 split, and includes every league indexing on the ADL tonight. Coachify.gg provides tools for esports coaches to manage their teams and players while also finding new students. Click the panel located below the stream to check out their website for more information. Ladies and gentlemen, we've set the stage pretty well for what this game 2 means, so there's not much more left for me to say. I only have one thing to say, and this is per special request of Contigo himself. Go Birds, baby! We'll see you guys after the break. Yes.
I lied awake for days, counting all the ways I died. Everything I couldn't save, buried down, still half alive. It's got me crawling in my skin, but no one's coming out to hold me close. Pouring out the gasoline, yeah, I've been making friends with all these ghosts, and I got nothing left to lose. Fight to the future. worked it down. Left a bad taste on my tongue, but my appetite's been growing now. I can see you crawling in your skin, but no one's coming out to hold you close. I'm pouring out the gasoline, so say hello to all my ghosts. Try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer, 'cause when we're gone, everything goes on. You were staring at the window, and it said, I wanna take you to the sea. And when I'm better, we'll do everything. I gotta stop making promises I can't keep. But if I was gone tomorrow, won't the waves crash on? Is it selfish that I'm happy as we pass the setting sun? Someday I'll be overcast, but you won't have to cry, 'cause we'll do the grieving while I'm by your side. I said, don't try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer, 'cause when we're gone, everything goes on. And I'm so scared of getting used to this. All the vines that keep you tethered in your room. Well, someday both of us are leaving here, but for now I'll just bring this seed to you. Will you meet me in the daylight?
First place in the Cosmic Division up for grabs. Somebody is leaving Summoner's Rift with that title. It's up to Big Chillers or Mint Gaming to decide who will feast and who will famine. We certainly, Jordan Bot, as we are on to Summoner's Rift, have some lanes that are going to go only one of those two ways in my mind.
Yep, very excited to see how some of these matchups play out. Big Chillers grabbing themselves a lot of sort of conditional counter picks. The Janna and the Darius should do a lot of work early. You imagine that they're going to be thriving in the lane phases in this one. I'm really interested to see if Bots Maven is going to be effective on this Rakan. It was largely a denial pick from Call Out Mayday. Sometimes these logical decisions and drafts sort of work out and sometimes they don't, but we're seeing a very tanky, very low damage combination coming in the top jungle positions. The Zac and Luckified on the Sejuani, a very familiar look for them, means the sort of battlegrounds for this Darius are very comfortable.
I have a fun little question for you that I'm curious what you think. Would you favor both comps more if the supports had swapped? Like the Rakan was with the Xayah and the Janna was with the Jinx? Because I feel like I could see it.
Yeah, no, I could totally buy it. I love the Janna pick in both sides. I think the disengage options here disrupting the Nocturne Ori, as we see trading happening as early as level 1 before we go to the lane. Darius loves this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm surprised Inigo Montoya didn't just path behind his turret, because this is literally, if Darius isn't doing this to you level 1, they're not a Darius player. I don't care what level you're at. Yeah,
so he did get denied the XP on the first 3 minutes. It's going to feel really bad for him. We're going to wonder if Fire and Call Out Mayday are going to be able to establish control as they should in this bottom lane. Very familiar jungle matchup dynamic. Mal6A going to be playing for level 6 on the Nocturne. Large farm and tempo jungling coming in from him. Luckified pretty much 3 camps, and then let's gank 3 lanes the way we did last game.
Had a lot of success last time around with that. Myers gonna need a turret shot, which is not gonna feel good. Grand Idris has to come out there from Bots Maven. But
really nice trading from Fire, but they need to get some control of this wave.
Certainly will help out there, as Luckified is going to be going for what seems like a full clear. No 3 camp in store, and it's actually a much more abstract clear there from Mal6A, as he didn't traditionally go. He's gonna go for an early back, actually. Hello.
As we're being flashed forward, yep.
I mean, if you're Luckified, you take that.
Gank.
Yeah, you know, Caster Curse comes out all the time, right? But base value, that flash trade, Luckified's gonna be happy with it.
Yeah, interesting pathing coming in from Mal6A. Starts the Wolves and then farms the 3 camps on the top side. Resets, he's going to go Gromp, Scuttle, some combination of that and the blue buff. And then his second Wolves should be spawning around that time.
Okay.
Pretty high economy pathing.
Yeah, the Elder without flash makes this lane a lot more interesting. Still looking to trade with Anthony. Does dodge the Crushing Maw. No huge kill threat because both have defensive summoners. Now I'm noticing, my apologies, but I'm not used to seeing the Ghost Hui out too often.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Probably feels it's mandatory against the Orianna Nocturne threat. I don't see the immediate effectiveness when they're doing that mid-air shockwave combo with the Nocturne, but as we kind of pointed out, he had to forego the Scuttle, so he's kind of just waiting. Not much to do until his second Wolves spawn, just because they don't really have control of this bottom lane. Bots Maven having a great early lane phase on this Rakan, and we're going to see Fire goes back to base very early on again to pick up that early call.
Once again, as we do see Contigo playing double lawn lane, whenever you get that hemorrhage stack going, always it's so powerful in that trade, especially into Inigo Montoya. So once those longer trades go, you can really sort of handicap the healing the Zac can bring, and that's what really sways a lot of those matchups and why people love the Zac top, I feel.
Yeah, whenever he's not able to pick up his blobs, a lot of limitations coming in for the champion. Luckified's here for round 2.
Yeah, good dodge on the first whiplash, where the stun's going to come through. I think Velder is just as good as dead. Trying to get over to Mal6A, but he's going to burn, and first blood will go Luckified's way. Nico Montoya is still having a flash in the top side away from Contigo. Immediately just pops the ghost. Looking to get the passive. Should force out the Zac pass with the bleed. That heal actually might keep him up.
Yep, he's gonna lick his wounds on that one, it looks like. And Grub's being eyeballed by Malstixay.
Botsmaven is gonna eat a root there. Fire likes his odds going forward. Alameda trying to drop down the shields. Not a lot for John to do in that position once the NATO comes down.
No, and a lot of sustain coming in from the Rakan. The Q heal buff that he got is just so nice for his lane phase. He's not typically known for his laning prowess, but that helps him navigate a lot of these matchups.
While Stixay navigating the top side pretty well, he'll actually get that scuttle and all 3 Void Grubs. So it's the second game in a row where Stixay able to secure the first 3 Void Grubs on champions. I'm used to people just one and doneing.
Yeah. So a little bit of an adaptation coming in from there, and the same trade that we saw last game, Luckified going to prioritize the Dragon with the amount of bot lane control that they were able to wrestle themselves. That Jinx lane phase is still very potent.
I'm glad that you got through the line because I've been honestly tired of talking about Void Grubs and early Dragons. So thank you for taking that weight off my chest for at least one game.
Yeah, Big Chillers do like themselves a couple calls on the side. We see Contigo pour that level 1 trade into denial of the XP. He was able to base kind of for free. Still a commanding 20 CS lead out the gate in this one. Picks up the call, picks up the early Merc treads. This guy is not going down anytime soon.
Going to be massive. He needs to kind of extend this lead. We talked about how this is a dream lane game for a Darius player like Contigo, but past that, team fights can be all but tricky.
Yeah, for sure. Call It Mayday is going to have he's got his hands full with the amount of peel that he's got to do. We see the first combo coming mid.
Yep, they're going to get the fear through as well. Probably Despair does not get close up to the turret aggro, and that you're going to see a lot more of, hopefully, if Big Chillers are going to have success in this game number 2.
That's going to feel so good for Malstixay. Comes off fresh out of the base, runs mid, puts his ult on cooldown, converts the kill. Valder managing his lane in a way to make that possible, and he just gets to go right back to farming.
Easy breezy cover girl right now for Malstixay, who did give the kill over to Valder. I like that because a lot of the times when Oriannas get behind, those shockwaves that are game altering feel so less impactful without damage behind them. Valdir so far shouldn't be in that category.
Yep, very close in the bottom lane. Myers got a small CS lead, but you see Fire gets the first plate of the matchup here. So very close between these two AD carries, and they largely have a very similar job in this game. But I gotta mention that Anthony and Myers, two mobile sort of carry, caster, hyper carry champions that are very fragile, and Malstixay is well on his way to another. He's got his first ultimate hunter stack. He's gonna feel so good.
He's got the magic damage to back it up, as long as Valdir doesn't whiff the combo with that command shockwave. Luckified posturing towards this bot side, maybe trying to see if somebody will walk too far to clear that tribe rush to punish him with his now glacial prison that's online. But Fire and Mayday staying safe under that turret.
Would not want to be this Zac right now. This lane phase does not look fun.
No, does not at all. Oh, that's a great tornado, but look who they've caught in the jungle. It's actually Malstixay. Flashes away, but the stuns come through for Luckified. Anthony wants his revenge.
Oh,
the heal from Mayday big. The rocket doesn't hit, but the severing bolt does. Anthony gets his revenge, and more is going to pop off for it. Great cushing maw. Featherstorm comes out. Bot Maven needs a turret shot. Here's Valdir. Good shockwave, going to hit 2. Damage not really big just yet. Monsoon down in the background, but Anthony and Botsmaven on the wrong side. Summoner's Rift. Valdir gets 1. Can Botsmaven get out? Trying to dash back to his teammates, but Fire torches him out. Ghost pop now from Myers as he's looking for a trade, but he won't even win that. Valdir doubles. Here come Big Chillers once more.
Tragedy on multiple fronts for MYNT Gaming there. The way Anthony picking up the first kill of the affair, but then overextending on multiple players here. All of them are going to get picked up. Fire is going to come out unscathed on that one, and Valdir's going to feel massive on this Orianna now. You were talking about that shockwave needs to have some magic damage behind it. Well, he just picked up 3 kills.
My God, I mean, he's getting on his way for a Seraph. I'm sure it's going to be a Luden's companion. Yeah, this Orianna is going to hit like a truck. That also gives a bit more power to this bot lane dynamic as well. Call out Mayday. Fire picks up one of those kills. He comes out unscathed. Is able to get a pretty good reset going through. This is exactly what Big Chillers had to do with their comp being much more adjusted for skirmishing and early to mid game power fight.
Yep, and the questions that we had in draft, they stole away the recon. They said, Mayday, you can't play anything else to that level of proficiency, and that's our draft plan. And he's coming out on the Janna. He played that sort of counter dive skirmish play really flawlessly, flashing key abilities, good tornado. We're seeing a cross-map rocket heading towards the grubs just for scouting, but it does look like Mal6A has control of them, control of mid, control of top, and that means it might be 6 grubs for the side of Big Chillers. They're rolling in this one.
Yeah, which is more important, right, on this squad, not to harp on something we've already talked about. But Big Chillers, they want to spike harder. Snowball is kind of a must. So picking that one up will be important. The caveat being, with Luckified towards this bot side and the prio they have in their 2 waves, Mint Gaming will get a pretty good dragon stack going themselves.
One thing I do want to point out is that the Orianna actually went for the triple tonic rune in this one. You see the elixir of skill in her inventory, and I imagine that the minor, I'm not sure what the minor tonics are called, but I'm imagining that he was able to make great use of the power that those offer in that early skirmish there.
Oh, well, this is a big bait coming across. That's a huge shockwave, but Mal6A does not expect 4 people to be waiting for him. Bot's maybe going to get a great grand entrance, and the spiraling despair gets the shutdown. What a predict from Mint Gaming to turn this game back on.
I almost never see teams do this. They absolutely put Anthony on the pedestal, and they say, go ahead and bait. And they had 3 players waiting in the wings there to back him up as he eats the second wombo of the game. They just knew. They knew it was coming, and they're there to capitalize.
That's such a big call, right? Because you know, by sitting in that brush, every second means so much. It means gold given over to this bottom lane. If you do not bait in that play, it just looks so much worse. But that's what you got to do in mid-gaming when you know what's on the line, first place in this Cosmic Division.
Yep, really good answer. Anthony's going to be able to catch some of this. I wonder if he's going to wave clear. Yeah, he's going to be able to wave clear enough to defend that tower, but the 6 grubs going over and fire whacking away at that tower, he's going to secure 4 plates for himself in this lane phase. He's feeling really good.
It's another game where there's always an answer from either squad, and it made for such a fun game number 1. Could we get it again in game number 2? By all accounts, through 13 minutes, feels like a resounding yes.
Yep, very similar dynamic that we have. Anthony really coming out with a commanding lead for himself, was probably very vocal about the target on his head in that one and helping his team make that decision. As we see a shockwave in the mid lane, is this going to be a solo kill?
Well, Luckified's here first. Anthony pops Ghost Flash. They might look for a turn. Valdir dancing around, trying to see if he can find a window onto Anthony. Paranoia about to come up. I gotta think Mal6A's just going to dive right under turret if he wants it. But he's holding on to it. There's his spell shield down, and finally call it. Valdir gets the kill. Great patience. Good flash away from Bots Maven as well. The charm will land, but there's nobody to reinforce it behind. The fear going to go through. Bots Maven having to be careful himself. Not enough juice in the tank to find another.
Oh, and we see some trading in the bot lane. Fire wants that turret.
Okay, the wave's out though. To step on the chompers, cleanse it, just to make sure he doesn't take too much more harass. He eats a turret shot though. Myers doing a great job spacing and using his turret to his advantage.
Yeah, Anthony falling prey to the Nocturne once again. He's eaten 3 of the Paranoias, come out victorious in 1 of them. He's going to go down on that one. Kind of thought that he lost his mind for a minute there, coming back in at sort of 1 HP, making it a little bit easy for Mal6A, but really wanted that idea of the skirmish.
And despite the fact that he's died so much and Valdir has 4 kills, the gold's actually even in that mid lane. The advantage is that 200,000 bounty that Contigo has from his dream lane.
Oh, absolutely. He's having a great time on this Darius. Almost a 50 CS lead. Not manifesting into a ton of tower pressure, but Zach is pretty protective. Good as that weak side tank that we need him to be. And you're going to see Mint Gaming maybe edging towards this Rift Herald Maven has made his way up here on the recon. That's going to leave fire. This bot turret is definitely going to fall. So Fire's going to be able to rotate out of that one.
Yeah, something Mid Gaming's fine with, right? Because they got the mid turret first turret gold there. They'll grab Rift Herald. It's a trade they're willing to make for Shelly in their pocket.
Yep. A really close affair between those two teams. We're gonna have to see, is Mal60 gonna be, he's gonna show the restraint enough, because he's strong in terms of farm, but he hasn't gotten any of these early kills. So I think some of the spotlight goes onto the side lane, Contigo Pour on the Darius, and then Fire's Xayah is much more of a commanding presence in the early game in this one. Mal60 doesn't have 100 kindred marks faster than he should. He's not strong out of his mind, so he's gotta have some restraint here when it comes to using that paranoia.
I'm curious where we're at with itemization. If we could get a look at that. I was staring at the gold grass for a minute. Thank you very much. So Kraken's on both sides is what I was curious. Definitely interesting, because I feel like while Kraken is certainly more powerful with its buffs, this could have been a game with not a ton of tankiness, at least on the side of Big Chillers.
Oh yeah, you're thinking that Myers could have gone with a different... I'm thinking maybe Kraken Slayer is mandatory on Jinx. Is that what you're...
Yeah, I think it is mandatory, but if there are any games that I think you could step away from it, it would be a one where there's no like true tank, right? It's just Bruiser Darius, but I don't know.
That's a good thought. I will say the Merc treads on the Orianna seem insanely valuable. That's one of the holes in their comp here. Bo3 going to pull the trigger here, but he does not have him by any means.
He didn't get a single charm. Nobody got close enough. Shockwave's still up here.
All 10 players here for the Dragon.
There is a Glacial Prison that whips as well. The Paranoia dropped down, but that Spiraling Despair. Mal60 will fall without even getting the ult off, but there's the Shockwave. Doesn't really punch like it should. Fire now getting turned on. That's a huge Feather Storm. If you get the pullback, could be massive. Get some big roots, but Inigo Montoya going forward, looking for Fire. Still has his passive up. Will go into it. Crushing Maw. Anthony dropping some serious damage. Myers gets the reset. Flashing over the wall. He knows how strong he is in this form. And here comes MYNT Gaming once more. They don't care whose jungle they're in, whose turret they're under. They're acing home as a squad.
MYNT Gaming's FP Myers is going to take a massive lead there on the Jinx here. Gets the reset, keeps going forward. Inigo Montoya with a pretty great engage. Goes down to the passive, but absolutely MYNT Gaming back him up. Myers goes huge in this fight. Absolutely great to see from him. He's had a quiet game one, but a very loud game two.
This is insanely problematic for Big Chillers, because now scaling threats that they're already going to struggle to get to with the amount of CC in front of them, I've got to be at least near or at 2 items much faster than intended.
Yeah, and that is 3 dragons picked up for MYNT Gaming though. So I mean, now like we didn't think that these teams could get any closer, but here in game 2 again coming out with some lane leads on the side of Big Chillers, strength on both sides, punch for punch, and these teams are about as close as it gets in League of Legends.
Those dragons, I feel like it could just be so massive, because you're gonna have to force Big Chillers over to that pit for a while. I mean, every 5 minutes you have the threat of giving up an Infernal, and also an Infernal on a comp that is looking to be as bursty as possible would have been so powerful on champions like that Orianna, like Mal60, as just a couple of examples.
Yep, 100%. Big Chillers going to need to lick their wounds and collect their coins in this one. I still think Mayday can have a massive difference here on the Janna. It was just a little bit too much. Engaged, the Recon flying in, they peeled that successfully. Then the Sejuani flies in, then the Zac flies in, then the Jinx resets come in. So there's a lot of winnable fights. I think the Janna, Peel, and Fire kind of got caught in no man's land, and then has to Featherstorm mostly defensively, has to flash away as well. So we're going to see these fights get a little bit closer. Carrie's getting items on both sides.
2 items down. That's Seraph as well, done for Anthony. An extra shield that could prove pivotal, because like we mentioned, I don't think the Paranoia Shockwave combos are going to stop coming his way. Maybe a little less frequent if Myers is in the picture, though.
Yeah, but with the Recon shielding on the side of MYNT Gaming, it's a little bit hard for the Nocturne to play this time around. Mal60 not having the early game that he had in game 1, not being able to find the momentum, but you see they're actually setting up for a bit of a play down bottom. Valder is showing on that side wave, pushing up, but it looks like to no avail. Anthony doesn't want anything to do with bot side.
Sees blue buffs up for the taking, and he's playing away, so just speed lines. Something very fair to tunnel onto. Something we also missed in that last fight, and we mentioned would be a problem. Contigo had that CS lead, had the advantage over Inigo Montoya in damage, in gold, but with the amount of disruption, talked about it with MYNT Gaming, it's just so hard for him to really find avenues to impact, especially if Inigo Montoya has passive up. He's always willing to dive as far as possible.
Yep, and again, that puts more emphasis on Call Out Mayday to sort of reset the fight. Because Big Chillers need a lot of time. That's what they need. They need time in these fights for Contigo to really eyeball, get some of these major cooldowns out of the way, absorb some of what MYNT Gaming's going to throw at you, and then Contigo has to isolate a target, get 5 stacks on the target, and then sort of flash in. But one Hui Fear in his face, and that dream is all but over.
There's a lot more CC that could ruin that dream as well, not just that Hui Fear. We'll see if Contigo, who in my mind positioned the best of anybody on Big Chillers in those in the last game in all those team fights, maybe besides Luckified's Rel at points and Anthony. He's gonna have to do it again in a much harder spot, and now he's looking for the solo kill, and my god, that's what we call a stat check in the business.
Oh my god. He knew his damage threshold better than Inigo Montoya's knew how tanky or squishy he was, and that Zach is going to be sent back to spawn on that one.
Pass was still down too. Why not go for it? Sometimes stat checks pay off.
Yep, he's going to pick up the Sterix, which again is going to buy him time when these teams have to clash. The Dragon is coming up in 1 minute. You're going to see Contigo, I don't think you can give a soul this early, so I think it's going to be maybe one wave push out, and then you're walking down to the Dragon, and we're looking for a great old fist fight.
I'm even worried about him just walking back top now, to be honest, with how close it's coming back around, just set up for vision. It's a pretty dark river for both squads, to be honest. There's pinks down in other areas, but I still favor MYNT Gaming's positioning with some of those wards for now.
Yeah, Inigo Montoya's walking over means MYNT Gaming gonna have sort of free reign on this area for a little while.
This is the same part of the map where they just got back in the game. So rinse and repeat. Inigo Montoya's here first, so they can really press up this vision line, and this is a really tough spot for Big Chillers.
Yeah, this is where it gets really impressive. Anthony's just going to be throwing spells at you from fog. There's so many pink wards on the side of MYNT Gaming here, as they're just going to start up the Dragon. They're down to take a 50-50 flip. Contigo Porter is nowhere to be seen yet. We'll see if they're able to regain any kind of control, but there's no Slapshot engage inside of the Paranoia.
And there's Infernal Soul. Now they'll go for the gauge, the Shockwave onto the carries. Contigo's in a good spot. Now 60 getting burned down, but Contigo, can he get the damage out? He's getting brunted. The entire team focused on him. No. He can't find the kills, and here comes the turn. If you don't pick us off, we'll execute you from the back. Anthony does die to the hemorrhage, but that's the only fleeting win here for Big Chillers. A double back over to Myers, and the rinse and repeat delayed fight holds gold in the name of MYNT Gaming once more.
A 5-for-1 at the end of this affair. Infernal Soul picked up. MYNT Gaming coming back here in a massive way. They are absolutely not giving up first place without a fight.
While the gold lead might not look major, I mean, the ability of an Infernal Soul to affect this lead is massive. And we already just saw how difficult it was for the damage combo of Valdir, Malice Dixie, and Contigo to get going. It does not get easier in this game.
No, yeah, it just looks like the team composition that MYNT Gaming has drafted for themselves just has so much cohesion to facilitate a Jinx reset. The disruption and the cohesion, it just seems to be overriding a lot of what Big Chillers has put together. The Janna is completely misaligned from what Nocturne and Orianna are trying to accomplish, at least the Nocturne side of things, right? So you really wonder who put this composition together where things seem to be falling apart here.
They're gonna have to find some serious fight angles, or honestly, maybe not even fight angles, skirmishes where they can find picks here, but saw they tried to set up death brushes, you know, put Valdir on a string, trying to bring a carry over to cover the lanes, but gotta give some props to the composure of Myers and Anthony. They know that roaming around alone will get them killed in an instant, so why not stick with their big beefy front line 9 times out of 10?
Yeah, I love that they're taking a small economy hit here and making up for it with clean last hits and everything. They've still got the CS leads in the mid lane, but they're sacking the side wave to make sure that they're over-indexing in safety here, and that's a massive priority. Here comes the massive combo in the mid lane.
Yep. Well, it's an immediate charm answer for Bots Maven, and Mal60's down. Myers gets another reset once more. And Jinx, when excited, is one of the scariest on the Rift. Immediate cleanse answer to the Glacial Prison, but Fire with no Featherstorm is only gonna have the Monsoon to protect him. Contigo once more just can't find angles in, and the 5-stack of Mint Gaming seems unstoppable in game 2.
Yep, Mal60 just looking really over-eager there. Just flies in on the mid lane. What we were just mentioning is when the Hui and the Jinx stick together, they are really hard to take down, with the Rakan flying in as well with the shields and heals and what he's going to provide. And that's going to be Baron number 1, basically uncontested on the side of Mint Gaming.
The lead will only grow. The confidence of this 5-stack even more so as this game goes on. 1 turret will be given back here. Those Void Mites are going to help out. Fire getting some standing gold. But once again, these are just silver linings in the state of the game.
Yep. Got Seraph Shield doing wonders for Anthony there in the mid lane, keeping him safe. A 3,000 gold lead so far, and then the Baron power play has just started, and this is also going to bleed into an Elder Dragon. Slayer, we had a 47-minute game 1, and we're looking at an Elder Dragon at 28 minutes into this one.
If I know one thing about Elder, I don't care how much you're struggling to team fight. You get that buff on you, things can change. But the way that I've seen Luckified and companies set up vision around, it's not even the river anymore, Jordan Body. It's the enemy jungle. I don't think Mal60's gonna get anywhere close to any of these these dragons anymore.
Yep. Honestly, huge shout out to the bot lane of Mint Gaming. Myers and Bots Maven have shown a lot of ups and a lot of downs in the ADL so far, and Myers coming up big in this game. And the answer to the question is, the Rakan steal away worth it? The lane phase was not bad, but here they go.
Yeah, but the shockwave just doesn't hurt enough yet. Myers will finally fall, but what will it cost them? Fire stunned up, the Featherstorm out, will eat the Sprouting Despair. The heals from Mayday, not enough. And all of that just to kill Myers doesn't seem worth it with 4 still up for Mint Gaming.
I will say Myers lost his 1,000 gold bounty, but Mint Gamer absolutely in the driver's seat. They're going to perforate the base. Mid lane will fall. Contigo Poor trying to get something back on the opposite. Will he be able to take top turret is the question, but the Baron recall comes through. He might be able to defend that one. Not a big wave on his back.
Gonna lose both inhibitors, mid and bottom. The bouncing shouldn't clear out the wave in time, so it does get that inhibitor turret, but 2 inhibitors down makes this game so difficult, and it's even worse that those 2 waves are mid and bot with Elder 35 seconds away.
Yep. The shining light here, though, with that 1k gold lead and everything after the dust settles, is that the gold is still close. The gold is 4k, almost 3k, and that's kind of what we said at the start of the Baron power play. The base has been broken, but the counterattack from Bink Chillers was actually pretty smart, pretty calculated. They are still alive. They have a small lifeline in this one. With Elder spawning in 10 seconds, they do absolutely have to do some of this face checking. Contigo Poor has to get over here fast.
But here we go once more. Good blast cone. The charm still lands. Mayday not in a good spot. Jana can't survive for long. And Myers falls. The shockwave already out as well. Used defensively for Valdir. And the might of Mint Gaming coming through once more. Contigo will find 1 reset. Can he get more? He has to be the big time player in the fight. But he'll only find the support. Myers fully unleashed. And what a response. Mint Gaming are your first place team in the regular season from the Cosmic Division.
Absolutely earning and solidifying first place here. He's going to bring us to a game 3. Myers wants more.
Myers wants a series win, but boy, does that feel like a weight off the chest of Mint Gaming after such a torturous, a mental fatiguing game 1 they lose. That's how teams that make it far in playoffs respond, Jordan Bot.
Yep. And that's how you play a weak side Zach performance. Inigo Montoya is absolutely performing in the team fights and weathering the absolute onslaught of pressure coming in from Contigapore on the Darius counter pick. R5 top, he says, I don't care. My team's better.
Joybots, it seems like ever since that first Nocturne Oriana combo went successfully, there wasn't another one that really went well. It's MYNT Gaming had Big Chillers red like the back of a milk carton after they set up the pick in mid lane to bait in the play, and from there, that combo that was just so integral to any success for Big Chillers fell flat time after time.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. You look at the result, and it's easy to paint the picture, but I do want to echo the sentiment that the misalignment in the team composition, Darius, Nocturne, Oriana, Zaya, Janna, there's so much kite back. There's so much. I don't know. It's just it's a soup that I'm not going to be drinking.
Well, the series is honestly not wrapped up, but everything else in the ADL is at this point. We are going to go to a game 3. It will not decide anything but bragging rights at this point between MYNT Gaming and Big Chillers. So we'll see what the draft looks like. We'll see if some, more comfort picks come out. Who knows what it looks like, but we will, like we have almost every week in the ADL, have a game 3. On the other side, our final draft of the regular season, MYNT Gaming, Big Chillers.
Oh, they can go to infinity. Oh, they can go to infinity. Yeah. It feels like infinity. Oh, it feels like infinity. Look around. Everything can wear you down. Catch 22 like it's always next to you. The more problems I face, the more I feel like they multiply. Catch 22 like it's always next to you. All of my problems, they feel like infinity. Feel like infinity. All of my problems, oh, they can go to infinity. Oh, they can go to infinity. Yeah. It feels like infinity. Oh, it feels like infinity. Drag it out. Build me up just to tear myself down. Catch 22 like it's always next to you. The more problems I face, the more I feel like they multiply. Catch 22 like it's always next to you. All of my problems, they feel like infinity. Feel like infinity. All of my problems, oh, they can go to infinity. Oh, they can go to infinity. Yeah. It feels like infinity. Oh, it feels like infinity. How they have it building up problems to the sky, they rain down. chasing you. Ridiculous. Oh no, no hatred. Oh no, no chasing you. And I'm ridiculous tonight. Slingshot legs, so they shoot back. There's a thin line with no take backs. Erase that, you will make that. Vengeance of gold with an appetite. Some things never change when they seem alright. Symbolism in the pain.
While the big stakes of this series are over and done with, folks, we still got to play game 3. Somebody has to win the series, so we'll see just what these two teams decide to cook up. Both teams already slotted into playoffs. If you just missed it, by winning one of these games, Mint Gaming do have the first place in the Cosmic Division. And Jordan Bot, while the stakes are kind of out the window, I kind of feel like these two teams might not pick a normal Mint Gamer Big Chillers draft just because they don't want to show too much going into their playoff matchups.
Yeah, we'll have to feel it out. This could end up actually being sort of a preview of things to come in playoffs. So I'm curious to see if the teams will sort of take this night as a for fun game 3. But I think tensions are high from the 1-1 scoreline. So I imagine a absolute banger affair of a game 3. Let's count on that.
Certainly I am. So we'll see if the bans have changed up a little bit. I see that we're still sticking with Senna bans, Callista bans. We saw adaptation bans from last game with the Karma getting taken away very early. The Kingdred is an adaptation ban as well.
Yep, we'll see what teams decide was too much of a burden last game. Smolder likely on the ban list, maybe. Early in Soul, there's the Smolder. And then we expect the last ban to be Karma if they follow suit from what happened in previous drafts. And then what becomes Big Chillers opt-in for the B1 slot, if not Karma? Could see the Varus again.
Oh wow, is it really? Is a Rakan respect ban given over there? So
right, that was a big theme of their draft last time. Botsman even did the steal away because Call It Mayday is known for the Rakan. So they're saying we're going to pinch that. We don't want it on the table in the first 3 picks.
Those Karma Monster Qs certainly provided pivotal in that game number 1. I distinctly remember one fight where you mentioned a big reason it was because Valdir sniped the backline with those Malignance empowered Qs. So why not just run it back again? I guess we're not getting too crazy, at least so far into this draft.
And as we're seeing it, right, they're gonna maybe run back to Zach.
I wonder if they'll send the jungle this time.
Yeah, if it is a true flex, if both players can pilot it to success, I don't hate it. There are a lot of losing jungle matchups, and we saw the losing top matchup, but they seem to prevail in the team fights. Now, is Big Chillers going to be able to disrupt what was the dragon setups from Mint? They were able to stack so many dragons in that game and just accelerate it beyond belief.
We'll certainly see if Mint Gaming decide to resemble a similar comp. Okay, lock this in. I just want to be proven right that they're having fun with this series, because I think, all right, here we go.
We're for fun.
Right. We're for fun in it. Vel'Koz locked in. That's likely, certainly. Jordan, how are you on your geometry? Curious.
Wait, hang on. I do have a small scouting report that Botsman has played Vel'Koz, so it is. Oh. We're gonna treat it as a double flex. The Zach can go top jungle. The Vel'Koz could go support mid. Anthony, typically known as your 1v9 player, might get a counter pick here. Might take the Vel'Koz. You really don't know what's gonna happen in this one. Fire gonna pick up the Varus, very high priority. In that one, usually we saw the on hit from him in game 1, and we'll see what they're going to pair that with.
I'm getting word that is that actually true? I gotta make sure and double check. Oh, yeah. So remember I said this was a for fun game? I'm wrong. So Wow, the dichotomy of the Cosmic Division. So, actually, since Optimal Esports Midnight and Northeastern Club Esports both won their series, and because they have a +5 game score, if Big Chillers don't win this, they actually fall out of playoffs. With every team below them winning.
Game 3 just mattered a whole lot more, and Mint Gaming going to confident lock in the Jin for Myers, something we have not seen of him before, and something that is not very highly prioritized or prized across many regions at all. But like we said, that Vel'Koz could come out as support as we see the bans coming through. We also noticed a Lee Sin lock, that's Mel Stixie on the carry jungle once again.
I'm curious if Mint Gaming know the stakes, because the way Big Chillers are drafting, I'm pretty positive they're aware. They're leading on 2 picks that brought them a lot of success in game number 1 with the Varus and Karma. Lee Sin, is still it's not a for fun pick, right? But I don't want to speak for Mint Gaming that they don't know. There's one of 2 options, Jordan, here. It's that Mint Gaming don't really know and arguably don't really care that if Big Chillers are the ones in the playoffs, or if it's a Forgotten Kingdom, who I'm sure some of their team and squad are watching this series now. Or Mint Gaming do know, and they don't really care, / they don't really want to show too much of their graphs going into playoffs now that they know they've locked up first place. But man, does this really change my mood on this game from trying to get out of the for fun brain Slayer mode now.
Yep, this could hype up things a lot, and it looks like Big Chillers is aware of that Vel'Koz likely being support, because they're actually throwing 2 more target bans towards Anthony. Not going to get his hands on the Hui or the Aurelion Soul this time around. What will Mint Gaming are for here? It's going to be a blind pick. They're going to give Anthony the 5th pick unless he is going to scoop up that Vel'Koz, but I can't imagine Vel'Koz into Karma would be too much fun, so we're going to go into the assumption that he's going to be taking R5. We're seeing another familiar top jungle, very tanky, and really opening the door for Contigo Poor to pick another carry top laner.
And we do know that there's Luckified now on the Zac, so it will not be Inigo Montoya as he goes on to Ornn duty. How does Big Chillers round out this composition? I feel like they might want, a tank and maybe some more damage, like you were mentioning. If you are in this position for Big Chillers, you got to be happy that you get the top lane counter pick on blue side. The Contigo can pick something damage oriented.
He's gonna look. He's gonna lock Urgot here.
Ooh, okay.
If the research comes through, he might be locking Urgot. I could see a Darius again, but carry top is kind of what you want here. Low damage. Okay, he's gonna go with something stable. He's gonna go the Cassante. Okay, Cassante's lost a little bit of his favor with the recent patch update, where he kind of got a little bit slower as a champion, a little bit sluggish compared to his absolute 1v9 pre-version, if you will. But R5 going to Anthony. Let's see what he will pull out here.
All comes down to this, Anthony. No Ace Soul for you. Neither of your champs you played in the last 2 games are available. He's going to lock in the chase. Okay. It can work into Karma. I also just believe that Karma is kind of hard to knock off her rhythm in any lane, but you needed some extra punch damage. Which way did you want to lean with it? Did you want to lean more towards AD, AP? They go the AD route, and they... I like it because it reinforces just the amount of stupid damage that you can do if you're gaming from Fog of War with how far back these 3 carries can be.
Yeah, that's so true. They did actually need a little bit more attack damage somewhere. Cassante is no stranger to a lot of resist. They have shields on the side of Big Chillers, so I'm really excited for this game 3. And Big Chillers actually needs to perform. They need to pull out a win here, or their playoff dreams and hopes are all but over.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, because I know coming into the week, I'm pretty sure they would have been safe if one of Optimal Esports Midnight or Northeastern's Club Esports team and lost, they both win. And now that leaves the only team that they had to have a tie with, the team that has the tiebreaker over them. So,
yep, 2nd place to maybe 5th place in a night, right?
Yeah, certainly can't be crazy. No ad reads to throw you guys this way. I know everyone's happy about that, but you know, they are what keep Aegis up and running. So once again, I'm going to quickly actually shout them out. So one more shout out to Coachify and Pro Comps for what they have done for us here at the ADL, us here at Aegis. But none of that matters. Now that we know the real stakes, there's one question left to answer. Well, technically two. The one that is obvious, who's going to win this series? The more important one, are Mint Gaming about to play spoiler to Bing Chillers this season? You'll find out on the other end of our intermission. It has certainly been a roller coaster of a night, a roller coaster of a finish here at the ADL regular season. It's the House of Horrors. The floor might drop out of Bing Chillers if things go wrong here, but they certainly have gotten themselves a superior draft in meta sense, and we learned, Jordan Bot, that because not everybody was aware of the stakes of this game. We'll put it at that.
Yeah, you gotta wonder, how are the nerves on the side of Big Chillers coming into a game 3, and you gotta trust that the coaches are on their stuff and that they all know that their playoff dreams are absolutely gone if they do not perform in this exact game. And to help them with it, Mint Gaming have kind of troll picked their bot lane. At least that's the lens that I'm viewing it from. Double Dark Harvest, Vel'Koz support, Jhin 80 carry. I can't imagine that we've fallen. I think we've fallen a couple tiers down in terms of bot lane priority picks.
Yeah, I mean, they're just full indexing, deleting people from halfway across the map. I mean, this is going to be a lethality Jhin, pretty damage-oriented Vel'Koz that are hoping that some deadly flourishes, some... I don't even... You know, I don't see Vel'Koz so often, Jordan, but I'm sure you're aware that I know a lot of ability names. I don't even know a single Vel'Koz ability name because it just does not happen in competitive. That's where we're at.
Yep. It's all protractor stuff. Either way, we're going to see... I'm going to be watching this bot lane closely. We're going to see some trading level 1. That's the heal blown, ignite blown, okay? And that's Varus and Nautilus getting early control of this wave, something that the Vel'Koz Jhin needed to avoid. And the reason I was going to be talking about this, that we're going to be looking at this bottom lane, is because Fire had a great game 1. Fire's had a fantastic game 2. And the top laners are on tanks. Jungle matchups very similar to what we've seen. Luckified going to be prioritizing ganks. L60 going to be prioritizing that early damage, more of a carry-oriented. Lee Sin coming up from him with the Karma mid. And the read that I had on Mint Gaming was that Anthony had been playing a lot of Jace in scrims and absolutely decimating teams with it. We get to see it here in game 3. Will it be enough? Let's find out.
Velder did have a great Karma performance in game number 1 and at multiple points, which I do recognize is not hard to do with this champion in mid lane right now, but gotta give flowers where they are. Malstixi back to his early game abilities. That Dredge is gonna land. The Sonic Wave gonna land through as well. Myers having to burn that flash. Another key summoner and more pressure given to the Big Chillers bottom lane.
Yep, this first couple layers of aggression coming out from Big Chillers has been very successful. Gotten a lot of summoners blown. Around the next layer of cooldowns, we're going to see Malstixi taking a bite out of Luckified here.
Oh, he's lucky that deadly flourish did not hit. Yeah, they're looking for the kill here. Malstixi holding strong to his flash, but might have to burn over the wall. He will. Valdir up first. Dredge line lands. Luckified does have the passive up, but they're going for Myers first. First blood will sink through a crit shot. Myers falls, but gets the first blood. Bot's moving up next. Will fall to Fire's piercing arrow. And Big Chillers, they needed a strong start, and surely they've got it.
Yep, the ball is absolutely rolling. Mayday setting up beautifully there. Malstixi coming in with some good Lee Sin mechanics there to secure that one. The score is 2-1.
Importantly, Fire getting involved in both of those. Velder. I apologize if I've probably been butchering that name all series long, but gets a kill as well on this Karma. Good spot to have those kills in for Big Chillers.
Yep, exactly. Luckified just doing some scouting, but finds himself in between a couple players here. He's actually not out of the woods yet.
On the root lands, he's immediately into passive form. Anthony shows up next. He's looking for the kill on the Malstixi, who does not have flash, but he's able to ward hop out. And they'll get that passive off of Luckified, which is massive. I also just noticed Anthony's flash goes down as well.
Yeah, Anthony flashing forward to protect the blobs there, really stepping up and protecting his jungler at a moment that he is a little bit weaker on that level 3 Zac. Luckified in a dangerous spot there. Finds Valdir, but not too much more will come into this. Or
Anthony takes a turret shot. That could be massive, and Valdir will get the outplay. Assist to the turret. Big Chillers looking for more. That's a mantra-powered Q eaten by Luckified, but he won't fall. Disaster still striking for Mint Gaming.
Yeah, rough start here for Mint Gaming. They're gonna have to pick up the pieces. There's still a lot of game to be played, and you gotta stay composed.
certainly won't have to worry about the pressure of the standings. And it does seem like the only people that are feeling the pressure now is everybody from a Forgotten Kingdom in the chat. If you weren't aware, that is the team in the Cosmic Division that is in if Bing Chillers fall here.
High stakes, and they're playing well. So Bing Chillers have the ball rolling. This bot lane is going very well. Call it Mayday, gonna posture again for another dredge line.
Trying to eye it up.
There it is.
Landed onto Myers. No ults, no extra CC layer down just yet. Myers gonna happily eat that chunk. Maybe not that piercing arrow, but they're baiting and buying time here for Luckified, who has shown up. Flash available on fire. He's gonna definitely have to blow it. There he goes. Still will get slammed back though towards the rest of the team. Will they look to burn down fire? With Deadly Flourish, will get it. The dredge line too late. Myers has the kill. Myers might look for a double as Mayday's looking to slug it out to get the trade, but he falls short. The minion grabs it. Still though, a huge double for the MYNT Gaming AD carry.
Yep, that's going to be 3 and 2 onto Myers Jin. He's going to feel pretty good about that. But oh, it's a strong start here. Again, Valdir coming out big on the karma. We're going to see if he can really make the Rift feel his wrath in this one.
Background, MYNT doing a great job cross-mapping. We talked about that all series long. Stealing away a ton of topside camps and grabbing those first 3 grubs for the 3rd time this series.
Yep.
Whoa!
Inigo Montoya is forced to flash there. I don't think the flash was necessary. Maybe fearful of the kidnap and fearful and maybe knowing that MYNT could be there. But Valdir going to take another bite out of Anthony's health bar. Okay. And as we've seen it time and time again, here comes the classic grubs for Dragon Trade. I'll say it so you don't have to. A quiet moment on the Rift where cross-mapping is happening. But here comes Myers on the Jin, and he's got a lot of CC just by himself.
Got a lot of speed up as well. They did not get the Deadly Flourish route. The trap didn't land. Luckified, I don't think has passive up still, and he will die to fire. Good dredge line from Mayday. Gonna look to be the sacrificial lamb here, but he's gonna survive through the shielding, and look who's flanking through. MYNT waiting for the bait fire. 1 HP isn't gonna die to the Vel'Koz, and this one might even be a double up. There's a great tectonic disruption from bots, maybe to keep MYNT alive, but it's only for Myers' again. The great turnaround for Big Chillers in the bot side.
A lot of aggression coming out here. Bing Chillers playing like a playoff team right now. They need to drive this win home. Everything is on the line. MYNT, he's going to get it anyways, but it might be expensive. It might cost him.
Who needs
He's actually going to walk out of that one with the wave. Not even close.
Who needs to land Sonic Forces, man? Just walk up and auto him. It's as simple.
That's jungle diff.
Jungle diff 100%. Listen, that was the AD carry's fault. This position's so strong, you shouldn't have died there.
Exactly.
In all honesty, though, Myers probably shouldn't have walked up to that wave, how low he was. Then again, he also had a Lee Sin flash from halfway across the screen. I'm sure we could debate the validity of that play for another hour.
Yep, no problem. Double sworded Dirk coming in for the Jin and the Jace here, so they're tapping into some really strong early power. Lost chapter on the Vel'Koz. He's going to keep spewing out spells, but they need to stay above water here. They need those levels. They need to get online. And Fire and Mayday having a absolute masterclass in the bot lane here.
And it certainly helps that their mid-jungle duo are the ones with bounties. Valdir is going to get close to that Malignance way faster than intended, which is a scary thing to think about. And MYNT, who we've seen in this series benefits best when he's on champions that he can get gold leads on an Impact, has certainly done so once more.
Yeah, it's funny to see the same style between both junglers all 3 games. Luckified pulling out Rel, Zac, and Sejuani, and MYNT bringing out 3 different carry champs for himself.
King Nocturne and Lee Sin.
Yep, sticking to their styles, sticking to what they know, because everything is on the line right now. MYNT Gaming in sort of their comfort zone. It's sort of a can't lose situation for them, but Bing Chillers absolutely need this win. They need every advantage that they can get.
So far, that advantage is a 2K gold lead at the 10-minute mark, which is certainly nothing too insignificant at all. Luckified once more, looking to get in it with Valdir. These are 2 with shutdowns, and Luckified's bouncing around. Passive should be back up. Gonna get burnt down real low, and it will pop. Anthony likes his odds defending it. Valdir has to be pretty careful. Mayday gonna roll over. Good flash away. Luckified back up. Depth charge onto Anthony. Teleport coming through for Inigo Montoya. Mayday trying to run away next with the Karma Shield. But here comes the call of the Forge God, dropping down onto 2, and it's an immediate shock blast into 2 for Anthony. Picked up. Mayday next to go under. A triple for Anthony as this game continues chapter after chapter.
We heard the stories of the Anthony on Jace, one of his newer picks that he's going to bring out here on match day. Absolute performance right there, defending the Zach blobs as long as possible. Inigo Montoya is coming in to set up, and the slam dunk in from Anthony, a big triple kill there.
Looking to push it towards these grubs, but they don't have a reset. Contigo is here as well. The root going to come through. The slows for Valdir, but not an angle for this Cassante to get on top of anybody. They'll at least keep the grub count in the favor of Bing Chillers, grabbing at least a set of Void Mites.
Yep, surprised the smoke has really faded a little bit in this bot lane. I guess Mayday elected to roam there. We haven't seen a whole lot of aggression coming in from Fire and Myers. They're kind of just trading waves here. Fire picking up the completed Blade of the Ruined King. Pretty good early game from him. And Myers going to take a reset here. We're going to see if he's able to complete his first lethality item. Opportunity completed for the Jace here, and he's going to be rolling onto a good start. And Malignance on the Karma. A lot of power on both sides. These teams are so closely matched, and they're going punch for punch again here in game 3.
The gold gotten a lot closer. And at least now we know the MYNT Gaming understand the stakes. They're looking to play spoiler. Glad to see everybody tuning in. Big shout out to the whole community around ADL. Big time viewership here is Anthony. That's a key flash to get off. Now he's the only man with a shutdown on the Rift. Actually, sorry, Contigo does, but point still stands.
Yeah, Contigo dominating the top matchup again, opening up at about a 20 CS lead here for himself. And as we see, the second dragon of the game has spawned. Now 60 going to go start up that up by himself because the face checking for Anthony, as you saw there, but any of the members on MYNT Gaming, it's so hard when on one side you're staring down the barrel of a Nautilus and the other side you're staring down the barrel of this Malignance Karma. Anthony not going to be getting any kind of access. Curtain call used, but this is kind of hopeful, I would think.
Oh, and there's the laser beam. Fire having to burn the heal as well. And that's why they drafted this fun comp, to try and delete people from over walls.
Yeah, if they were synced up there, if Myers was not thinking about that, but flashes forward.
That was heal as well from Botsmaven, just to keep Myers safe. And I'm not counting that as a Chains of Corruption whiff, all right? If somebody flashes away from it, that does not count for anybody stat checking at home.
Yeah, he missed it. I'm not backing you up on that one.
All right, you should have predicted the flash and extended the range of Chains of Corruption by twice by messing with the
exactly. No, good R flash coming in there. Myers, good reaction time to get out of that one. But you can tell Big Chiller is absolutely playing like their lives depend on it.
Contigo. Oh, he does get the play. I was just saying. He's getting that gold lead in the least formidable way. This is the real way most teams get a gold lead. That's kills, and Luckified knowing that, having to flash away. Passive was down that time, so would have likely have fallen to the punch of this Eclipse Lee Sin.
Yep, now 60 opening up a nice jungle CS lead for himself again. The top jungle of Big Chiller just seemed to dominate their matchups, but the teamwork coming in from MYNT Gaming seemed to prevail. So we'll see if they can team fight their way to claw their way back into this one, as we see a lot of items coming through and the stakes are high.
So where these value items are really going to hurt, and Anthony's looking to capitalize on it. Valdir just gets crumbled like a paper bag. Anthony will lead a dredge line. Mal 60 looks for the trade. It's actually made it to pick it up. Good depth charge on the Luckified. Remember, no pass available on the Zac. Does Mal 60 have the execute damage? He'll go for it. Get knocked back up. Survive, and the laser comes through for Botsmaven. Outplay back towards MYNT Gaming.
Yep, really good pickup for Botsmaven on the Vel'Koz here. He is playing a high econ support. That's really important. Anthony going down, shutdown given to Mayday. That is going to be a very tanky Nautilus. He's going to pick up the Frozen Heart now. Not exactly where you'd want the gold to be distributed, but not the end of the world. We're still going punch for punch.
Blow for blow, punch for punch, whatever way you want to describe it. This game is scrappy. And for the third time in a row, We're getting through the first 10 to 15 minutes of a game. Pretty even between these two squads, and I will say, no shade to the Forgotten Kingdom fans, but that kind of makes me want to see both these teams in the playoffs with knowing how close they played this.
Yep, the best teams will enter the playoffs, that's for damn sure. Looks like the combo of Inigo Montoya and Luckified trying to copycat each other's builds. They're saying twins. A lot of lethality on the side of Anthony and Myers.
Oh,
Valdir,
God.
that's a solo kill.
Malignants, baby. Totally a balanced item, that's all I have to say.
Yep, Valdir showing up here on the Karma. Really got to see it in game 1. We're seeing it again in game 3 here. Mayday gonna walk behind the tower, and this Vel'Koz Jhin combo just completely zoned off. They are absolutely drowning in this matchup.
Down 40 CS, they lose first turrets. Rough spot on the bot side of that map. We talked about it. Anthony picks this Jace to have to be the main carry, and while there are some kills on Myers, it really feels like he's gonna have to be the bearer of bad news.
Yeah, Big Chillers with a ton of pressure across the entire map. MYNT Gaming are in their comfort zone. It seems like Luckified's been pressured all series long. Inigo Montoya is pressured all series long, but they seem to come out and prove better in the team fights with their teamwork, team synergy. They're on the same page, but their lanes are looking worse for wear.
Their team fight certainly looks a lot messier than last game. Certainly some desync there as well. Zach and Oren are gonna really want to go in, but you have some poke from behind. We won't get to that point as well.
Okay.
Yeah, he had to. He would have gotten thrown under turret into Anthony's wrath. As we get into that mid game with that bot tier 1 turret down, Fire and Mayday will step up to the call of the mid lane waves.
Yep. Bo3 actually rather strong on his Vel'Koz here, as we see an engage in the mid lane. Luckified's going in.
Oh, that's a big laser set up by Luckified. Anthony only able to find one as Fire is able to stave off and back up. Lethal Tempo starting a free fire. Kernfall coming forward as Luckified has the passive, drops the Lee Sin, and the bottom lane combo of Jhin Vel'Koz coming through in waves. What a teleport from Inigo Montoya to save his jungler, and he might nearly find a kill.
Fire gets out of that one.
Just whiffing. It's only Contigo left though. I think he's looking for the all-out back towards the turret, but a shutdown from Bo3, but he flashed forward to get it, but he unleashed Contigo onto his backline. There's one, finally on the board with a kill. Has Ghost Pop, still hunting forward with those Utofo strikes, but he just can't get close enough. Can he get the knockback? No, Bo3 even dodges it. There's just no angles for Contigo to go further. And he's running out of time in the all-out. Still has the unstoppable going back forward. He finds the shutdown, gets Bo3 down. A teleport behind from Valdir, setting up Big Chillers. They're down to their last breath, but they just won't quit. Double kill, make it 2 over to Valdir and Contigo as this game sways back and forth more and more.
That's the Dragon going to be going over to Big Chillers. Absolutely massive. They're coming out with just so much raw power. Contigo Poor going absolutely crazy, reminding us that Riot Games did create Cassante, and he is still in full force here. 550 gold bounty on his head, having a great game. Valdir coming out with massive performance there. The teamwork of MYNT Gaming is what is holding them in place here. Luckified gets the TP onto the blobs there, keeping him alive, and Myers and Bo3 actually executing this sniper combo of Vel'Koz Jhin to full avail.
They can keep getting the maximum effort out of these two snipers, like you mentioned. This game could get even more interesting. That's a great Tectonic Disruption, as I did make sure to learn at least one ability name from Bo3 and Vel'Koz.
Yeah, he's collected a lot of items for himself. You want to play the Vel'Koz support as pretty high econ. He's got 8 KP for himself, 3 completed kills. So he's got the boots, he's got the Ludens, and he's got the extra alternator. The Zaxak is online. He is doing a tremendous amount of damage for the average support. On the other side, you see Mayday picking up a lot of those tank items completed on both sides, but Contigo Poor having another great game for himself.
The problem for MYNT Gaming is they don't have any space on the map right now. They have barely dented mid and top turrets. Bot turrets is slow to fall next, but they've lost a lot of space for just wards in general. But they're still going to roll as 5 here towards this Rift Herald. And if I'm Big Chillers, just gotta let that one go as Baron takes its place.
Yep. Rift Herald gonna go to the Void. Baron going to be entering the fray. The triple squadron of Anthony Myers and Bots Maven kind of roaming around trying to find a way that if this Nautilus wants to get eager with a hook, Anthony is absolutely online. Muramana completed opportunity, and he's got a tremendous amount of damage to offer.
Yeah, this is one of the first real big power spike for any most Moramana champions, you would say. Once they get 2 items, they start to hit like a truck. Gotta think that Veildir is pretty close to 2 items as well. This Karma gonna hurt, and we've already covered the fire. He's got that Rage Blade done, and Varus can scale up with the best of them in this form.
Yep. Luckified doing a great job. Low econ as ever. I just witnessed him pick up a mana crystal on Zach, but we're seeing it all in the top lane.
Yeah, Contigo got the all out he wanted. Dodge down, call the Forge got in. This is just not even a fair fight. Spam the Cassante meme in Twitch Jack because Contigo has another one, but we have to wait as Bots maybe gets caught out by Mayday, and that squishy Vel'Koz has no way to survive the brunt of fire and Mayday.
Yep, the disconnect of Luckified and Bots Maven there is going to cost him his life. That's going to feel really bad. And Baron number 1 started up by Bing Chillers. Luckified is on the Zac. It is going to be a 50-50. He can do his Elastic Slingshot over the pit pretty risk-free. Anthony with the suicide TP.
Yeah, he got caught by Vader. And he's down. They reset the Baron at least, but it just reinforces this 50-50. Curtain call out as Myers is trying to pick his targets. That's a huge Karma shield, though. It gets near no value. And will we see the drive by Luckified channeling that Elastic Slingshot a little early? Goes over just to see what the health bar's at. Teleported from Inigo Montoya.
Luckified flash.
Rooted up. Yeah, he might have to flash in the old-fashioned way for. He's going to jump in. Can he get the steal? Gets kicked out of the pit, but the jungler dies, and it's Vader to secure the Baron. Wasn't pretty. But Big Chillers get out with the purple banner.
Yep. Really good victory for them, Big Chillers. Their playoff hopes still alive in this one. Fire absolutely online. Their carries are doing well. Their front line is doing better. Dragon in 1 minute, and we're looking at about a 6,000 gold lead for the side of Bing Chillers, the team that absolutely needs this win to secure their playoffs.
Pressure mounting not only for this team, but some of the people I know are watching this stream now. A lot of gold to be taken if MYNT Gaming can find an avenue back into this one. They don't even have a turret down yet, and with objective bounties up, could be a very underrated way to get back into this one.
Yeah. Now, the glimmer of hope for MYNT Gaming, they need to connect Luckified with Bots, Maven, Myers, and Anthony. They need to execute this sniper composition. Bots Maven got completely 100-0'd by Nautilus in this last fight. Mayday taking him completely out of the equation. For him to be able to do his thing on the Vel'Koz, he has to be able to cast his abilities. He's going to do a tremendous amount of damage if he does not get completely withdrawn, but you'll see the area of play being restricted as Luckified's going to take some space here.
There we go. The only knock up Mayday. And a flank from Contigo could be huge. Fire has the front line locked up. Contigo just eating up the full might of this Vel'Koz and Jhin. Anthony already gone. Inigo Montoya tracked down, killed off by Mayday. No passive stacking for you, Luckified. Big Chillers look as calm as composed given the standings. And they'll punch it home with a 3-0 team fight win.
Yep, absolutely massive. They're going to go on to their 3rd dragon of the game. It's another Infernal map. Infernal Soul would be absolutely massive. Ooh. And Big Chiller is going to be taking out the team fight victory in that one. You're seeing this curtain call being completely ineffective. Oh, flash for by Velder.
What a flash. Monster Q doesn't hit the target, but it snipes out Bots maybe from behind. Maybe not the intended result, but one they'll take home anyways. The bottom lane, the sniper's down for MYNT Gaming.
Yep, sniper's down. The house is on fire. A lot of these side lane towers being picked up. Actually, every single one. Fire's going to clean up the top lane. Contigo Poor just has to escape, but it looks like he might be taking the fast way home.
And pops the ghost. Doesn't want to go all out because it'll get his resistances off. Got to start juking around. Teleport from Vader nearly had a shield to save him, but now he might get the karma caught. Anthony slamming down the hammer. And what a turn once more from MYNT Gaming. You can just never count him out, Jordan Bot.
Yep, Anthony just got his 3rd item paid for. He's going to run back to base, run on home, and finish that one. a glimmer of hope for Mint Gaming here, as everything else was completely on fire. As the dust settles, we're looking at an 8,000 gold lead for Bing Chillers. They are still well in the driver's seat, but that was a massive throw coming in. The Cassante was absolutely 1 HP, and Valder got a little bit too close to the fire.
Runs teleport as well, right? So could have been a very useful TP. They do obviously have pressure everywhere else, right? I mean, the base is the only thing left standing turret-wise. They'll have an Infernal Soul if they want it in about 330, which, as nice as it would be to get on your own team comp, I would argue it's more valuable to keep this away from what we have composed for Mint Gaming. I mean, that's just the perfect Infernal Soul comp, at least on the bot side.
Yeah, if they could secure it, exactly. Yep. You're seeing Byers being largely ineffective this game. The Jhin, the Lethality Jhin, absolutely matched up and answered for on all accounts by the unkillable front line that is this Nautilus and Cassante. The armor is stacked up. The curtain call is ineffective, so it's going to be on Mint Gaming to get a little creative here. They need to find a way back into this one. Dragon spawning in 3 minutes, Baron in 2. They need to wrestle back some map control and get some areas of the map to operate in to use their sniper comp.
Yeah, setup was so important to make have this be a success, but I don't know when they'll ever get real setup except at their own front door at this point.
Man on your screen is who you got to be looking at. Anthony has been the glimmer of hope. The game 1 Aurelion Soul performance, he had 17 of the team's kills very early on into the game, 25 stack Medjais. He's having a good one in this one, and he's got to be the man to look for in these team fights because he's going to be providing a lot of the damage.
Was the benefactor of the first Orin itemization. Looks like the next one will be Bots Maven, who gets his Lune's Companion upgraded to Force of Arms. It's always fun to see what the names are for some of these items, especially some of the new ones that are out there that can get upgraded.
Yep. No, we don't see Orin a tremendous amount, so there's still so many secrets in the Season 14 patch.
Oh my god!
And there it is. So Anthony needs to do more of that. Exactly.
Well, that one was kind of slumped over at his doorstep, but man, did he still sing the damage home.
Yeah,
you weren't kidding, Jordan. Yep. Yeah, you weren't kidding.
Yep, find some areas of darkness in your jungle to defend, and then absolutely defend it. Anthony just pumping an amazing amount of damage there. Limited armor on this Lee Sin. He actually just gets completely 100-0'd, and that will slow the pace of the game a little bit. Baron start is going to be impossible for a little while.
Antigopor can stay on the side lanes, has teleport available, and 0 kill threat from Inigo Montoya's is Ornn, so keep those waves shoved up. Karma can shove waves pretty well, answered by Anthony. Will get dicey with the fact you mentioned the Mouse 60. They can't stuff for Baron right away, because that Infernal Soul Dragon will be spawning pretty shortly, and it seems like from the setup, the Mint Gaming would rather posture towards that side, but they might have a pick. Deadly Flourish is going to land. They pin Fire down, and I think he's as good as dead here. The curtain call could have sung it home. It'll actually be the call of Forge God. Now Mayonnaise going to get knocked up. That Dredge Line going to keep him safe for now. But what an ill-fated time for Fire to get picked.
That's exactly what you were talking about with this sniper combo. They're going to completely try to off-screen you. Fire never really had a chance there. Flash available, unable to get away from the massive amount of skill shots with Buckify just jumping on your face. That could spell another glimmer of hope here for Mint Gaming, keeping this game alive, keeping the series alive. They're going to walk over to the dragon that's going to spawn in 20 seconds, but they have wrestled control, so the skill shots are going to be sent. Bots Maven is going to be able to land a little bit of poke here.
Problem on the flip side is without Fire, there's no way for Bing Chillers to even threaten a Baron. That would be such a slow Baron. They are pinging for it, but I don't think they take this relatively fast at all without Fire there.
No, it is absolutely a slug. Slug's pace, they're going to be able to
this is risky.
Answer this. This is extremely risky. They need to hop off this right now. Mint Gaming would absolutely collapse. They're just kind of shredding their resists right now. They're counting on Mint Gaming not really knowing about it, and they're actually kind of... so the bluff's been called, and they're absolutely bluffing. So Bing Chiller is going to get a massive chunk of gold back. Bounties on these towers. This is actually transformative for the entire game, but are they going to be able to escape? 5-man through the jungle, absolutely surrounded.
Feels like Freaky Friday. That blast cone really throws it all for a work. Luckified pinned down. That's a massive laser, though. Not a ton of carries burned down. The front line stands tall. Fire's still up. Luckified down to the passive. Shut down only onto the tank. But the rest of the squad still gonna hunt. Myers and Botsmaven counting their lucky stars. They got to this blast cone. And they're lucky that they only end up losing 2 for now. Might pick up another one as Mouse. Stixie has to be careful going that far forward. Where did Contigo Pour come from? Teleport flank, and he's got his eyes set on Myers. The all-out goes through. Good flash and blast cone, though. Somehow a miracle comes Myers' way. No turrets to protect him. Still has to keep running. Contigo hounding him. Call the Forge God. Indigo Montoya wants to keep his carry safe. Botsmaven being ignored, dancing around, looking to kill off at least Mouse Stixie, but he won't. Fire shows up. Contigo gets the kill. Big Chillers stand up tall and win the fight they needed desperately.
Myers escapes with his life, but his team is absolutely in shambles. He's going to try and curtain call to slow the wave, but the base is going to be perforated here. A massive team fight win coming out for Big Chillers here, keeping their playoffs alive. And Mal 60, honestly MVP of that entire fight, gets behind Anthony, kicks him into the entire team. Anthony absolutely caught in no man's land, cannot flash, goes down, and that was the man that we all had our eyes on in that one.
Jungle terrain fights can be so crazy. But Anthony was the prize that Big Chillers had to throw down, and they will pick him off. They do lose a lot, though, in the background. The bluff call was smart. They get 2 turrets with objective bounties on it, and they stop the soul stacking. So while 6k gold is still rough to be down, it honestly could have been a lot worse.
Yep, absolutely. So you're going to see Big Chillers try to take initiative over towards this Baron. Mayday is going to make that area dark and make it scary for Botsmaven on the Vel'Koz. Luckified's going to have to edge his way in there so that we can get some wards down. Otherwise, Big Chiller are going to be baiting this Baron. But playing slow until Soul is probably completely on the table. Third Dragon already taken. Infernal Soul would be so transformative for Valder on the Karma, really giving him that extra little bit of oomph behind his combo. But they are going to look to push the pace of this game.
I'm with you, Jordan Bot. With the stakes of this game and the lead you have, there's no reason to rush anything.
Yeah. And they're going to pull the trigger.
Yeah, it looks like mid-gaming.
Really wet to engage.
All right, they land Chains of Corruption onto Luckified. No passive up on this Zach. You burn this, it's a free Baron, and that's what's cashed in for the rest of Big Chillers. Inigo Montoya next to the target. Sonic Wave gonna land through. Resonating Strike going on top. Mal 60 gonna try and kick the Ornn. Unstoppable, but the point still stands. The front line burned down for MYNT, and a key Baron. Big Chillers are eyeing a playoff spot. They will not be shut out.
Fire has snuck so many items into this on-hit Varus and is absolutely just shredding through Inigo Montoya's whiffed engage from Luckified, whiffed follow-up from Inigo Montoya's Ornn, and Big Chillers are going to take down the Baron. You got to think they're in the driver's seat. Their fate is in their hands. If they play clean League of Legends from this point out, they're looking at an Infernal Soul, and they might be able to close this one home.
Everything, every statistical and numeric value certainly pointing towards that. Especially will help if they're able to get 2 inhibitors. We've talked about before, Jordan Bot, that it's a dangerous risk, a slippery slope, only having 1 inhibitor down up against a team behind. But with this Baron wave, I think that reality is not coming any further unless Luckified. Huge bounce down. The laser doing a ton of damage. The carries are picked off. Fatal and Fire Birth both burned down. Contigo now the only one trying to make some sort of fight back in the base as the rest of Big Chillers are running for the hills. But I don't like Contigo's odds. I don't care how overpowered Cassante is against 4. But man, I might be wrong as Botsmaven gets deleted. While 6A will fall to Anthony, but Contigo and Mayday find the trade. How can Contigo Pour keep this up? The odds against him do not matter. He saves the fight for Big Chillers, and it's going to take 18 years for him to kill off this Ornn.
Luckified finds another massively clutch engage, absolutely performing here in game 3, absolutely taking out all of the carries. This fight might last an eternity.
Yeah, I'm getting a breath in. I mean, I knew this was going to take 18 years, but the result's the same. Contigo Pour dominating. And what a statement from this top laner for Big Chilling. He has been massive in their games 1 and 3, which I'm nearly ready to call game wins at this point.
If MYNT Gaming can defend this third inhibitor, it is pretty big for them. They are going to get a lot of income. Anthony will hit full build on the Jace this game. And you saw that Luckified landed the engage, and Anthony absolutely slam dunked that, killed both carries in one combo. You're going to want to look at him for that again. They're going to need to keep finding these kind of engages. They are still alive in this game too. Base towers are still protecting their nexus. Soul will fall to Big Chillers here. They're going to get some resets, and you got to know they're going for the throat in this one.
And they've got some serious damage online. Yomu's upgrade coming through for that lethality Jhin from Myers, but now you thought those malignant mantra Qs hurt from Vailder 1 before. God, do they hurt now?
I'm getting a flashback from when we talked about draft and we said, no, we need a carry top laner, and then Contigo Poor locked in Cassante. And then I uttered the word slower and sluggish compared to his former self. And this is just the perfect reminder that I needed, that this character is absolutely insane. 10-1 on the Cassante. Team fight pressure, kills the backliners, no problem. I mean, he's absolutely full build.
He was in the middle of 4 of them, and he ignores 3 of them and kills the one he wants without even dipping below 40% HP. Showmaker was cooking with the rant that we all know so well.
He's fair. We're going to go for this third inhibitor, but the bottom one hit spawned as well, so this is going to be a bit of a slow siege unless they can find a bit of a fight. Myers going to have to flash out of that one.
He's staring down an entire team. He does not care. Luckified, the last-ditch effort. They're trying to get on the carries, but most of the damage is only in the front line. They did not get towards the Forest or this Karma, but they are burning down Mayday. The shutdown will come across. That is a teleport to save Luckified from Nigo Montoyas, but it's a valiant effort.
Anthony's
that does not fall flat. And here comes Contigo Poor. I am sorry, Unforgotten Kingdom, but Big Chillers will not be denied a playoff spot. They had a shot at first, but all they'll take is a playoff spot at the end of the day, and boy, should they be happy and proud about it.
Nexus is going to fall here in game 3, and Big Chillers is not done with the ADL. Their hopes and dreams almost came to shatter here on this night, finding that you could go from first place all the way down to 5th in one night, and they came to play and they performed.
2-1 win for Big Chillers over MYNT Gaming. And while it's nice to be the first place opponent, like Jordan Bot just mentioned, they don't grab first place thanks to game score. But one thing we can resoundingly say is I believe Big Chillers are now the most battle-tested team going into playoffs after everything they've been put through in this, 3-hour window we've had.
Yep, super excited to see. I love their approach to the game. They seem to know exactly what their priorities are in draft. They're going to draft multiple winning lanes. They're going to draft a carry jungler, and they're going to play really in your face. Out of all 3 of the games, I can say that Big Chillers were in the driver's seat at a lot of different moments.
And it looks like, crazily enough, I'm sure Watercat can correct me, our lovely APL admin, but I see the scores are updated in the sheet. Every single team in the playoffs finished 5-2, Jordan Bot, and the only thing that is differentiating them is that MYNT Gaming has a 2 greater game difference score, but the next 3 teams, Big Chillers Diamond, Optimal Esports Midnight, Northeastern Club Esports 2, all finished with the same match record, the same game difference. It's crazy to see that only thing deciding those spots is head-to-head, which does mean Big Chillers go from, at one point they had first place tonight, at another point they nearly were out, and now they actually end up second, and they dodge out on having to be chosen by the other division. Their opponent will be decided by their opponent will be the opposite one that Rubber Ducky Gaming picks on the other side. It's very confusing, and I know we shouldn't be talking much about it, but the fact that they all fish 5-2 is just so crazy to me.
What a night, what a night. A lot of people's fate has been decided here. For a few people, the season is now concluded, or this split, sorry. And they're going to have to reshape and relearn and find a new approach for the next split. And for some of these teams, the playoffs run is going to be an absolute exciting one, because all of the games that we have casted here have been absolutely entertaining.
and it only ramps up from here, Jordan Bond. But you guys are all gonna have to wait, ADL faithful, at this point. The last point I want to make here is how the playoffs work. So one more time, 12 team, or there is a, this is a single elimination bracket, 3 weeks, all 8 teams slotted in, no buys going on. The caveat here is our first seeds, Rubber Ducky Gaming, and you guys all know Mint Gaming now, being first place, get to just decide if they play the 3rd or 4th seed from the opposite division. So we'll have matchups once those teams select which opponent they want to play. Then obviously the offsetting one will play the 2 seed. So that's how the playoffs will run. 3 weeks of it coming right at you next week. But for now, folks, ADL's wrapping up, the regular season over, but there's a ton of more Aegis action going all week long. AML playoffs are coming your way. Shout out Jordan Bot's team who made it, by the way. Good job, Jordan Bond, and your squad. AEL is coming your way. You've got more action on the weekend. Most importantly, with Aegis Champions League ramping up on Friday night. But after that, we will see you guys next week for week 1 of the ADL playoffs, where we will really start to figure out who we're going to crown Defenders League champions. Until then, take care, enjoy your week, and I'll see you guys in just 7 days' time.